Just need Will and Nick.
I'm logging in now. I like to wait to log in until I start the
Oh, yeah.
stream. That way it does the little music thing. Do 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 do.
I'm logging in. I'm just being quiet because Dusty is being loud. Yep, there he is.
And to compensate for all the talking I did pregame, I'm going to really consciously try hard to describe things that my character does and that my character says.
And then my character says, I just like to imagine that Eric Trump.
not even sure I'd be mad at that, honestly.
I know, I should have put the story on stream, huh? I don't know. I thought it was...
No, because we were talking a little too freely.
Oh, yeah. We don't want to knock at our door. Oh, welcome to the stream, everyone. Oh, I just reused the eye stone from last time because I feel like maybe that'll come up now. When we last left our adventurers, take it away, Jake.
Yeah. So we'll wait for Will to get in the game.
I'm almost in.
Because where we last left our adventurers, Kara was speaking alone to Jaru Ashstaff regarding the stone that they had left with him earlier today.
Oh, sweet.
Let's see what you had done today. I think we're still on the same day. So in the morning of this day, you had a bunch of fights in a field. We got all beat up. Went back to the inn. Slept it off. You went and inquired to the innkeeper about his rat problem, and you went downstairs. Exploded some cheese.
Oh yeah, that was sweet.
Yes, an eternal, an endless being from the nether hell that I want to get into my character's nether regions. I mean,
the tentacle monster was cool, but that cheese was really cool.
Met a creature that is of nondescript abyssal origin. And then was that before? That was before you went back to turn in your quest. You went back to Burn and spoke to him about your quest. He thanked you for clearing out the field, gave Kara a battle axe, which I guess you dragged down the trail.
Yippee! Pretty much, yeah.
And told you where you could find some chainmail, which you swiftly declined and said, we'll do that later. So
it was 2 days travel away. We were just barely to get back in time for the meeting.
You know how hard that was for my character to say no.
So you decided to twiddle your thumbs in town instead and meander about talking to people.
We identified almost every building in town.
So you spent the last couple of hours surveying the town and getting an idea of where things are, and you've got a pretty good idea of the majority of things. You've still got a couple of places unmarked, but you kind of know what they are already. You just don't remember. And then the last place you decided to stop was, coincidentally, the Druid's house, where you met Jaru Ashstaff, who you had heard of before. You showed him your stone, and he looked just as concerned as Burn did, and he asked if he could borrow it, and this time, you said yes. So he took it, and he promised that he would have it back by this evening. And he went and left. I think that was when you guys started exploring the rest of the houses. You went back to your inn and you were getting settled in for the night, and then Kara remembered that they were going to go get their stone back. They went to Jaru's house and he wasn't there. And he was walking up the path right as Kara was peeking in the window trying to see if he was in there. And Jaru approached Kara, apologized for the delay, returned the stone. I don't know if that actually happened, but he gave you the stone back. And that is where we left off. So a bunch of stuff packed into one day, and the day is almost over. And Jaru is now talking to Kara, and I think the last thing he said was he had some important information to share with you about the stone. Yeah. So Jaru says to you, yes, I took the stone around and showed some of my fellow high-ranking members of the town here, and they all had similar concerns to me. This stone is definitely very, very important. Um, I do have some things I would like to talk to you about regarding it. Um, I would prefer your whole party to be here to hear them, but I would be willing to relay to you a shortened version of the message, and then they can come back and talk to me when they have a chance.
Why, but of
That
course.
sounds ominous.
He says, "This isn't the first time that a symbol like this has been seen around this area." He says, "During the height of the temple's reign, there were folk who would freely display similar markings, either emblazoned on their shields and tunics, or necklaces or rings. And I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but with the recent rumors of the temple's return, this information and this stone's appearance is not to be taken lightly." He says, "I showed the stone to Byrne, and he said that you've already spoken to him, and that he was trying to get you an audience with the council that's at the upcoming meeting in a couple of days." He says, "I'm hesitant to reveal too much information before you attend that meeting because there's a lot of stuff you need to hear first. But rest assured that if you do attend that meeting, there is much you'll learn about the history and the ongoings of the town, especially with this information brought to light that you've given to us." He says, "I would be happy to put in a good word for you as far as your possible attendance at the meeting, but I can't simply offer my endorsement to strangers on that level uh, without knowing that you're worthy of that uh, offering." He says, "If you would return here with your companions, I do have a request that I would make of you. Um, and should you complete that request, I will certainly put in a good word along with Byrne, with the other elders, that you be uh, seated at the council meeting in 3 days."
Well, that would be great. I will be back shortly with the rest of my party. Thank you, Jaru.
He says, "Come in the morning. It's getting late, and I'm sure your friends are tired from a long day.
All
And
right.
I too am going to be tending to other business this evening. So um, feel free to come back in the morning, and we'll discuss further."
Sounds great. Kara begins turning around and starts leaving.
He bids you farewell and returns into his house.
Kara ventures back towards the inn and goes upstairs to our bedroom and knocks on the door. "Hey guys, I'm back with quite a long message."
Come in, have a seat.
"Lovely, do not leave me out here." Kara sits down and basically relays everything.
Pantalk's in the corner reading his books, and Jacina is whittling a soft piece of wood with a knife. And they say, "Oh, how did it go with Jaru? What did you learn?"
Kara mimics his. Wait, this isn't Scream.
Fun character.
Wrong character. Kara just like tries to mimic, but he's not good at mimicking. He sounds like an old person. And he tells you guys what he said about the stone, and it's being kind of bad, and it might be related to this temple thing, and that. Whoa. This guy
temple
knows.
thing. The stone is related. The stones that we found is related to the Temple of Evil. That's Jacina. And then Pantok looks up and he's like, "Whoa, what? Wait, are we finally talking about Temple shit? Oh, I've been waiting for this. And he closes his book, but he forgets to mark his spot, and then he's like, ah, damn it. Go
Yeah,
on,
it's
tell us.
kind of related to it, but he wouldn't tell me that much. He just said it's something that people would wear around that time era. But here's the thing. He also knows Burn, and they both talked about it, and he told the druid about our little spot at the council, and he said he'd put in a good word for us if we did a request, which hopefully also means something else in return, maybe some a little extra cash or something like that. He didn't say that. Kara just added that in.
Kara.
Okay.
Who's Kara? And how did they
Me.
add that in?
No. Okay, that's kind of all.
Okay,
That's why all my characters to date have been named Zoe.
So he's gonna meet with us tomorrow and give us more information?
Yeah, in the
That
morning.
could be interesting.
Sweet. Well, we've had a pretty good adventuring day, so I say that we can get to bed and we'll find out what's going on with this tomorrow. And Pandak says, no, I think we should go there now and demand that he tell us immediately.
No, he insisted. I already went, hey, I'll just bring the rest of my party, and then he was like, no, wait until the morning. I'm old and tired. Because he's old and he's tired. He's an old man. He's freaking tired.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that makes sense. All right. Well, then I think we're ready to do a rest for the night.
Yeah, I could probably use a good rest. Feeling a little beat up.
Okay. So long rest time.
Yep, if you are sleeping, you can take a long rest.
Ding, 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 ding. Are you guys? We're just all cramming in the same room, right?
Yep. Kara sleeps rolled up in a ball. Haha.
I'm opening my character sheet to reset all my stuff.
Me
Yep.
too.
I'm looking through my 3,193 tabs for my character sheet.
Just
Can't you
open
search
a
tabs?
new window.
Yeah.
Are you maxed out in the number of windows that you have open at once?
No.
What?
I only have like 23 instances of Chrome open. I mean, Windows.
It's okay. I'll open your character sheet on my end too.
No, I found it. I just. Now I've got to remember how to do a long rest.
All spell slots recovered, all hit dice. Since you only have one, are restored, hit points maxed. Any other abilities like your wizard rest thingy, arcane recovery are reset.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
I've already reset all my stuff.
If you look at my character sheet, what I did to make it easy, because there's like so many sheets, is okay. HP and spell slots we know, right? But then what I did is under features and traits, line 85 and above, I actually typed out each of my features, and then I specifically put like how many are left, and I highlight them. So like right now I have arcane recovery says not available, so I just delete not and then highlight it in green and then poof. So that's one thing, one suggestion.
And let me know once everyone's finished with that.
Ready.
One
Ready to go.
Okay, Pantok is at full hit points 8. He has his 1 hit die back.
So,
Go ahead.
wait, so I recover all of my 8 hit points?
Anything that can be recovered is recovered to maximum.
So I was, because of playing Warlock so long, I get confused on them. So I don't have to expend hit dice to recover my HP. I recover
During a short rest, you spend hit dice to recover HP.
Right.
During a long rest, you recover all your HP and part of your hit dice. Since you only have
Okay.
one hit die, you recover all of them.
Okay, all right. I was thinking that I didn't recover my HP, so now I am good.
All right. So your party sleeps for the night. It was just barely dusk, and it was starting to get dark. So you set in, and you had a long day of adventuring. You wake up, and all of your acid melted wounds and spider fang holes and everything is miraculously vanished from your body.
5e, so easy.
And yeah, and I'm not going to go off into a thing because we've already been talking a lot, but in 1e or 3.5 even, recover a long rest heals you like 1 HP. You literally have to
In
have magical healing or it takes
3.5?
weeks.
Oh my god, I've never looked
I
up
think in
3.5.
3.5, yeah.
In
I'll have to look at it
You
again. but I'm
guys
pretty sure.
started playing in 3.5 for a
Barely.
short bit.
Tried.
We never did resting. We would play like literal one shots.
I just remember the bridge story and Joey going over the edge, and it was
Yeah, we did a couple of games, but it wasn't like actual playing. Not
Gotcha.
long enough to get into that level of complication. More like battles and dungeon crawling.
Oh my god, with a
my
full
character wakes up. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
with a full, I think this is 3.5. With a full night's rest, 8 hours of sleep or more, you recover 1 hit point per character level.
Yep, pretty hardcore.
I want to play with those rules one day.
Kind of, yeah. Honestly,
I mean, right now I'll take the full healing for free, but I'd want to balance
would be
a little more.
It would be fun to play a 3.5 campaign for a short bit,
Yeah.
like a 6-week campaign or something.
I would not want to try and retool 5e to fit it. I would want to learn 3.5 and play it and maybe change some things like, maybe cantrips are a cool thing to have or
Pathfinder.
something like that.
Oh, this
Yeah,
sounds
pretty
like a thing we need to do.
It's pretty much Pathfinder, honestly.
I guess we need to call Travis.
So yes, you rest and all of your things are recovered, and you wake up in the morning. Your inn room is still paid for, kind of like a hotel. You have until like noon before it's no longer your room. And what would you like to do now that you've woken up? What time would you like to wake up?
I think we can wake up at dawn and leave within the hour. You know, just pack up our stuff. Like, let's say packing everything up and checking out and, you know, making our plans, eating, drinking. That takes about an hour. So
Oh boy, you got me there on the drinking.
we can depart 1 hour after dawn.
My character wakes up, stretches, goes, I feel all healthy and fully recovered and ready to go take some damage at that choke point. And, oh, wait, never mind. Sorry, we're not doing that today. And I get a little sad and I kind of rub my neck.
If you spend an entire day and night on complete bed rest, you get twice your level in hit points.
Hey, at least it's per level. It's not just one. It's like if you're level 5, you get either 5 or 10. That's reasonable.
Bed rest. That means you give up the adventuring day.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think if everyone's ready, the 4 of us pack up and head out of the inn to go meet with Jaru Ashstaff the Druid.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
It is
Sounds
8 in the
great.
morning. Dawn is at 7, so you wait an hour after dawn, and you leave your room, and you figure you'll come back and rent another room if you need more room. So you leave, and your party travels to the Shrine of the Druid, and you are now outside of the house at the shrine.
Jacina goes to Kara and says, "Hey, Kara,
Yes.
I know that I'm the druid, but
Yes.
since you've already been talking to the
Kara?
guy and you're the one that showed him the stone, I think it's a great idea if you continue the conversation. So you can totally take the lead in talking to him. But if you need anything, especially from a druid perspective or angle, like, just let me know. Just motion towards me, and I can whip up some druid craft for you."
All right. Sounds good to me.
And
I
then
get to
Pantok steps
see
up and says,
Mr.
"Yeah,
Old Man.
and also me, Pantok, the wizard. Like, if you need any wizard stuff," and he winks and like clicks his mouth at you. Does finger guns.
Nah, man. I don't need your wizard stuff. It's only
Oh.
druid stuff in this household.
Ooh, okay. I'll remember you said that. And he steps back.
Hey, I don't mean it like that, man.
He doesn't
All
look
right,
too upset, but he's opening his book.
I'm gonna take the lead and go on ahead towards this guy's door and hopefully my party is following me. I don't know if you guys are, but assuming
I
you
assume
guys
so.
are, then come here.
Yep, we're right there. Oh, that's right. That's right.
You gotta move your token.
Jake's like, and we're not playing anymore. I'm not your DM.
Just waiting for
Fuck
my turn.
Pantok runs ahead.
Knockity knock knock knock.
And
Oh,
Justina's right there too.
Hi, good morning. We're just out in the neighborhood wondering if you. My name's Toddy, and this is my friends, and we're just wondering if you've thought much about Jesus and
oh,
rap. Sorry, I don't have it memorized.
who's Jesus?
He's a druid. We know how they feel about. Oh no, it's Saint Cuthbert here. Actually, the Saint Cuthbert Church probably would be knocking on door to door, like trying to bully people into converting.
Probably right.
Yeah. All right. So there was a lot of people saying a lot of things. What was happening?
I'm knocking on the door. Knock knock knockity knock.
Okay. Kara knocks on the door of the druid's house, and almost as if he was anticipating your arrival, the door comes open on before your second knock, and Jaru is standing there, and he says, "Ah, you've come early. I'm glad you've made it. I'm glad you made it an important stop to come here on first thing in the morning."
Why,
And
but
he
of
says,
course.
he looks around and sees that your whole party is here and says, "Ah, good. You've gathered everyone. Please come inside. We must talk about this in private."
Ooh, I wonder if we'll get tea that's may or may not be medicated tea. Let's go.
Are you saying that, or are you thinking it?
I'm mostly thinking it. I'm like muttering it to myself.
How do I rotate my guys? I forgot.
Q and
Or, oh wait, no, wrong thing. That's to make him go boing.
oh yeah. Jaru enters the house, followed by Kara. Justina and Pantok follow close behind, and then Toddy comes, and Jaru says, "Shut the door, would you please?" to the person in last place.
Okay, sorry about that. And then I shut the door. Do I have to make a dexterity check?
The door shuts with a creak and a latch, and as you look around this small cottage, it's cluttered with lots of stuff. The ground is bare dirt, and there's little roots coming out of it, and little tiny plants, but nothing. They're mostly been trampled. There's books and scrolls and druid stuff. Wow, your hands are like perfectly stacked up. That's funny. Druid stuff, but also very cluttered, like someone's house where they have too much stuff and don't throw anything out. It looks like an old man's house. There's dirty dishes and things like that, but it's not messy. It's just very, very cluttered. And he says he shuts the shutters to the windows that were open, and he says, "I'm sure your companion has told you why I've called you here. Yes."
Justina says, "Yes, she told us that you said that stone." He. Thank you. He told us that the stone that we found on the bandits may indicate a connection to the Temple of Evil, which actually is something that we've been searching for. So, I mean, searching for evil that's been growing, and we thought it might be connected to the temple.
He says, "Yes, unfortunately, I believe that might be the case. Not quite so much that way, but this symbol itself is not directly known to anyone in this town. But these types of symbols and secreted away objects were a common sight back during the temple's heyday, where bandit raids were commonplace and thieves and brigands roamed the countryside." He says, "Of course, I'd still like to study the symbol a little bit more, but I believe I've gotten everything that I could get from it without having more information. He says, I don't think the stone itself is directly linked to the temple, but just the fact that there are agents of evil afoot is sign enough to me that the temple itself may be active once more. It was always a hive of villainy and a meeting place and a refuge for evil people of all kinds. And I think with the rise in activity, that can only point to one thing, and that would be the return of the Temple of Elemental Evil. And he says, um, these bandits that assaulted you were not the first ones, nor will they be the last. Um, he
Yippee.
says, I personally, he lowers his voice to a hushed whisper, and he says, I believe that there are even agents of evil within our very town, but don't ask anyone else or tell them that because no one else believes it. They'll say everything is well and good and St. Cuthbert protects and our militia would keep things like that out. But I know that sometimes evil goes undetected even under our very noses. And he says,
So you're saying the church is evil?
no, I'm saying
Damn it.
I'm saying the church believes that they are so holy and righteous and great that they would be able to keep our town free of evil simply by their presence. But any reasonable person would know that's not really the case. Like, just because a church rules a town doesn't mean that evil doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Justina says, "Oh, okay," and then she looks over at Pantok and waves her hand like not right now. And then he's like, he has a fireball that he's floating in his hand, and he's smiling. And then he's like, ah, because he thought he was gonna get to burn the church down like Varg of Burzum.
He says he
It's
says
banned.
I am all for
Was.
burning it down.
Was it banned? I think the guy's in prison. Wait, no, I think he's out of prison now. Killed
he says
someone, too.
no, quite the opposite. In fact, the church does make great moves to keep control of the evil that exists, and the presence of the church and the high popularity and population of followers of Saint Cuthbert keep the evil at bay. But agents still sneak around from here and there, and I have my suspicions, but I wouldn't, of course, point fingers at anyone without knowing for sure any information about who might be affiliated with whom. He says, if you have any information on who around town might not be who they seem, please feel free to share it with me, and I will possibly share information about them if our information matches up.
I would like to make a minor illusion of a pitchfork in my hand and be like, sounds like fun.
You do that.
Round them up.
He says, now is not the time for farming, but we will get to that.
Then a torch appears in my other hand, and I'm concentrating real hard.
He says, but yes, of course, most of our townsfolk, I would hate to put you off to the townsfolk. They are mostly pleasant people, great to be around, great artisans and merchants and craftspeople and citizens of all sorts. But always be wary of who you speak to. You never know when an agent of evil is lurking. Even myself. I'm telling you this, and he looks at Jessina and he says, as followers of the old faith, you know that I would not tell a lie, and if I spoke ill words, our gods would strike me down. But
yeah, law of threes.
But you should still what?
The rule of threes.
I know what that is, but in the context,
anything that you put out comes back threefold. The
Back to you,
threefold rule. That's what it's called. Threefold
Okay.
rule. Threefold law. Threefold
Well,
yeah, that one.
thing.
so far, I haven't found anybody to be very sus, but obviously, I will keep an eye out. I'm really good at judging people as I'm kind of swirling and losing my thoughts, looking down at my drink.
He says, great. Well, of course, I'm not asking you to rat on any of your friends or anything, but if anything seems out of the ordinary, feel free to confide that in me, and I will not go taking rash action. I will simply act as counsel and let you decide what should be done. Or, if with your blessing, I could, of course, present it to the actual council. So, totally up to you. Just letting you know. I do have my suspicions, but of course, I can't share that with you at the moment, simply because we don't know each other well enough yet. He says, but I believe that can be mended. He says, I have a task that is not of utmost importance, but it is very urgent. I was actually looking for someone to partake this task, and it's kind of time sensitive. And then you four just happened to pass upon my doorstep, and it kind of works out. Have you ever heard of a flower called the Hooded Maiden?
No.
Can I do a
Uh,
check to see if I've
no
heard of the
comment.
Hooded Maiden?
Sure. Everyone make a nature check.
Everyone nods at Pantuck, and he goes, "I have no idea what you're talking about.
I've never found the Hooded Maiden.
I've never
before.
heard of, found, or seen such a thing."
Just like Ben Shapiro's wife, I think that it's not. Wait, hold on. Just like Ben Shapiro thinks that, whatever, Ben Shapiro joke.
World
It's
of
not real.
12.
Hooded Maiden. Blah blah blah.
And then
12.
Well-
Justina whispers
Hold
to
up, I'm
Pan.
putting this back down. I'm not rolling. It's because I realized I picked up the wrong one. Oh, I should have taken my 18.
I
Justina,
don't
whi-
even see it.
Justina whispers to Pantuck and says, "Little man in the boat," and he goes, "Oh." I heard that.
God damn it!
Can't remember where I heard that. Oh, what am I rolling?
Nature check to see if you've heard of this flower. I see a 2.
Pantuck, that's 2. Here's Justina.
God damn it! Mine rolled off the table. Can I roll again?
Yeah, it didn't land. Roll it. It's right here.
God.
No, it actually did. Like, I don't know what it's doing. It's floating in the air.
When it falls off the table, it pops back into the air.
Yeah, but it gave it a random number. Does that count?
No, it doesn't count. That's
I'm not trying to roll it off the
It-
table.
that's equivalent to if it drops on the floor and you peek under the table and say, "Nope, that's a 1." You peek under the
I
table.
know
and
less
say, "It was
about the
a
Hooded
20."
Maiden than Pantalk does now.
So a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 12.
It's
Plus whatever modifier.
5 and 6, so
So I have
Um,
a 5.
Kara, conveniently,
Yeah.
none of them have really heard of this. It's not exactly common knowledge. But you, with your knowledge of potions, you know that is a rare, sought-after ingredient for alchemists and herbalists. Not like sold on every market corner, but more like a prized ingredient that is kept secret and traded amongst those who know its uses. And
Oh.
Jaru asks you. You can share that information. He's probably going to share some information with you guys, but he asks you. He says, "Has anyone ever heard of a flower called the Hooded Maiden?"
I raise my hand, and it's not even tall enough to like reach one of my party members. But I like jump up and down and go, "Oh, me! It's a rare kind of flower traded among professional and experienced people, and it is a quality product."
He says, "Ah, very good. You know your herbalism. I think we may get along quite well." He says, "Yes, as your friend says, it is a very rare and exceedingly difficult to locate alchemy and ingredient used with many uses, particularly powerful medicinal and alchemical qualities." He says, "Unfortunately, this particular flower only grows under very specific conditions. It can't be what's the word for when you grow something like on a farm or whatever?"
Farmed?
farm.
We
I guess farmed, but they're
Cultivated?
domesticated. I don't know. I don't know if you call that.
Yeah,
Cultivated.
yeah, I
It
would
can't be
Cultivated.
cultivated.
Perfect. Thank you.
That's it. Yeah.
Cultivated. It cannot be
Yeah, it can't be
cultivated.
cultivated.
It must be grown. It must be found in the wild. And in fact, it has very, very specific growing conditions. The first
Like acorns.
is, yeah. The first is that it only blooms at night and only once per month. The second is that
Great joke there, Gary Gygax.
the days that it blooms are only about a week leading up to the full moon, and then no more. After the night of the full moon, it does not bloom again for another month. And he says, and finally, the third and perhaps the most troublesome fact is that it only grows and not perpetuates, propagates. It only propagates in areas that are closely tied to the Feywild. So you couldn't simply spread a bunch of seeds in a farm, and you couldn't simply grow them like that. They must be grown in these areas of immense Feywild power. He says, but unfortunately, I do use this reagent quite often, and I am running worryingly low on my supply. And the full moon, as you know, we hold our council meetings on the night of the full moon, and the full moon is in 3 days, and I'm running out of time to harvest flowers, which I haven't done at all this month. So I was looking to send someone to go harvest some flowers for me. I know of a location where they grow, but it is a little bit dangerous because you have to go there at night, searching around to maybe gather a handful of flowers. He says, if you are willing to undertake this task for me, he says, as I told Kara, I would be willing to put in my word, and trust me, my word is a very powerful one. In with the council. That, along with Burns' word, I believe should be plenty enough to get you a seat without any hesitation. He says, of course, that is not to say that would be a replacement for regular compensation. Of course, I was planning on paying the person who did this task for me in the first place, and I won't hold that from you. He says, if you would be so kind as to undertake this task and collect a sufficient amount of flowers, I would be willing to let you have a look through my collection, and each of you I would allow to choose a potion, scroll, or gemstone up to a value of 50 gold per person.
I'm gonna cast inflate value, and I'm gonna make all of y'all's gemstones look like they're more expensive, so you get tinier ones.
You could totally go digging through and find a gem, and then bring it up and be like, "Oh, here, I found this gemstone. It's only worth 45 gold." After you cast the spell, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that works. That qualifies. That would be a good way to use this in this situation."
No, the point is inflating the value would mean I would have to pick a less valuable gemstone to make it look like it was up to 50 gold.
You can deflate the value though, so you could deflate the value of one of his gemstones.
Oh, I didn't know you could deflate it.
Yeah, it can go either way.
Whoa.
Just like Toddy.
So he says, of course, I'm not asking you to choose now. This is quite a burdensome task, but I promise you it would take you no longer than you'd be back by tomorrow morning, and that would give you plenty of time to recover in time for the council meeting, which I know is of utmost importance to you right now. He says, so if you're willing to undertake this, you can have some time to think about it, but I do ask that you return here with your answer, if not now, at least by noon, based on not technological, but logistical constraints. Like, if you leave any later than noon, it might be more difficult for you. So you can either give me your answer now or take some time to think it over.
Do we want to talk about it privately for a minute first, guys?
Yeah, I think that
yeah,
would
can
be
can we step away and discuss this, and then we'll come back and let you know?
He says, oh, certainly. If you need to stay on the ground, you can step outside and I'll wait in here. Or if you needed to go somewhere else, then just come back and call my name at the shrine and I will come and meet you.
all right.
No.
I say let's go to the shrine.
Yeah, let's go to the shrine, then we'll call for you in a few minutes.
Yeah.
He says, all right, well, let me know.
Oh my god, I just realized we could literally play leapfrog with our pieces.
Oh my God.
Jake is like, I hate that you figured this out the very first time we played and have done it every game since and make other people do it too by, consequence.
No, it's fine. I just basically
Oh,
what I
start
do
all over.
is I imagine that we're all at the table and there's a big open map with minis and everything. And instead of like talking and playing the game, you guys are like toddlers with your little tokens going dit, 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 playing with your little toys on
That's
the
what
table.
we would be doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, pretty much.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, guys. So
I say do it.
So basically, he's going to let us have some, compensate us and everything, and put in another good word if we can go find this plant for him. But we have to do it today, if I understood correctly.
Sounds good to me because.
Or did I not understand correctly? I'm asking. Did he explain the way that it works? Basically, we have to leave today to get it in time.
Well, he said before noon if we're gonna come back in time for the. I think it's tomorrow, or whatever. The council is coming up pretty soon. So, but we're not doing anything else, and we want to get on this guy's good side. So I say
No. I was just trying to make sure that I had understood correctly how it worked. That's all, because I got distracted by my drink. So I start to stare down at my empty mug longingly, and I kind of trail off.
I don't know if you're asking me. I can give you a short recap of that part of what he said.
I'm not asking you. I was asking my party members on this one.
Just making sure. I wasn't sure if I made it confusing or not.
Okay, I'm asking you. Oh, you were talking about him. The council's tomorrow, right?
No.
2 days?
3 days.
3?
Right now, Jake is losing faith in mankind.
Okay, 2 days makes sense.
It is not tomorrow, but the day after tomorrow.
Well, guys, okay. I think you all know what I'm going to say. Any chance to go pluck a hooded maiden, I am all down for it. So.
Oh, no,
I've been waiting for Amanda to overhear some of this conversation, and she just goes, "Did you just say pluck a hooded maiden?"
Oh, yeah, Justina winks at you and goes, "Oh, I should talk to you about that later."
This is going to get into a really weird role-playing session, but I'm also curious to see how far I can take it.
I didn't know you were so into horticulture.
Very much into horticulture.
I am sitting there clueless to what you guys are talking about.
Pantog looks at Kara and is like, "What are they talking about?"
I have a very young plant growing on the table next to me right now as we speak. Oh shit, that's on the stream. Go back and delete that, okay? What do you mean it's live? Okay, well delete that too.
Justina loves the idea of traveling into nature. She's been itching to get away from the city. And Pantok is with Kara. He's like, "Whatever, man. Let's go pick a flower or whatever. I'm just looking forward to that magic council." It's not a magic council, but that's what Hiki's referring to it. It's a council. There's magicians on it. It's not a magic council. Kara?
Yes?
What do you think? Should we go pick a flower?
Let's go pick the flower. I like flowers. I think it's very respectful to go pick a flower. It's very lovely to go pick a flower.
Okay, but he said that when we're ready to talk to him that we can call his name at the shrine, so can I do that?
Fine.
Jaru! I start howling his name at the shrine, and that's Pantok that's doing that.
Jaru comes out of his hovel and greets you from afar with it resting on his staff, and he says, "Ah, have we come to a decision?"
Yes, in fact... Step. You guys are staying?
Oh, no, I'm moving. Hold on. You
can't go that fast. That's unrealistic.
Oh my god. Fine, I'll do it.
Do you want Do you want to accept Kara, or do you want Justina to?
Justina. Go ahead.
Justina says, "My allies and I have spoken, and we would love to pluck your hooded maiden."
He says, "Wonderful. I will, if you would like to get your friend there, who is entranced at the shrine, totally understandable. Then come back into my house, and I will give you the details on what will be needed to complete your quest.
Pantuck says, "Oh, I'll get her."
Sorry, I was telling Amanda about the plant and
Oh
all
yeah,
the stuff at Gary Gygax and explaining,
Pantuck walks up to Toddy. Hold on, let me. I have to turn. Toddy. Hey, Toddy.
What?
Let's go.
Okay, where are we going? I can't remember.
We're gonna go talk to the druid this way.
Oh, okay.
Wait for me. And then we're in the house.
come in, and he reminds you to close the door once more. He just kind of gives a wave of his hand.
Who's the last one in? Toddy again?
He shuffles by the rest of you and shuts the door himself. And he says, well, of course, you can turn this offer down at any time, especially since you may come to a decision so quickly. If you decide not to take this task, I will find someone else to do it. But I must know like I said, by noon today, so that it can be done in time. Because if we wait too long, then the full moon will happen, and then all the flowers will die. So he says, so there's a grove that not many people know about. It is not exactly close to town, but it's not really close to the I always forget the name of that forest. It starts with a W.
War Silks Woods.
That's what I want to say.
Willy Wonka Woods?
Maybe it's not a W. The gnarly woods. He says it's not exactly part of the gnarly woods, but perhaps once centuries ago it was. He says, but it's just a small grove of woods, maybe a couple of miles across in either direction. He says out in the foothills, about 6 hours away from town. And he says, if you don't know exactly how to get there, it's very unlikely that you would stumble across it, as it is not near any roads or in any particularly important areas. He says, but I can give you directions on how to get there, and it should take you no more than 6 hours to get there from when you leave here. He says, but, of course, important to keep in mind is this flower only blooms at night, so you kind of need to be getting there at nighttime, otherwise you won't be able to find them. But also, traveling the roads at night is not exactly the smartest thing to do either. So you kind of want to time it so that you're getting there right as night falls, so that you can not worry about getting accosted on the road or running into any monsters, but you still have plenty of time to look for the things. So keep in mind it'll take you about 6 hours to get there with my direction, and leave town accordingly, which is why I said noon. Afternoon, if you wait too long after noon, it'll take you too long to get there, and it'll start to get dark before you
Makes
arrive.
sense.
So how far is it? How many hours travel to this
He
location?
says, as the bird flies, it's a number of miles, but if you travel, let me look at the map.
Actual across roads and whatnot, which just adds to
Yeah.
the time. Are you willing to draw us a little bit of a map in addition to the description?
He says, why did I Google Forgotten Realms map? He says, a drawing won't be necessary. He says the instructions are quite simple as long as you know how to follow them. Trust me, once I tell you. Plus, I do have a little bit of an ace up my sleeve. He says, in order to get there, you will travel north on the road from Hamlet, and travel that road for exactly 4.5 hours, or however many miles that would be at a regular travel pace. He says both. He tells you the miles but I'm not going to go do the math. He says
4.5 hours or miles?
4.5 hours worth of travel time, which would be a number of miles. I think it would be pretty close. You travel 3 miles in an hour.
Approximately, yeah.
So it would be 9, 10 and a half miles. 10,
No, it would be like
11
13
and
and
a
a
half,
half miles.
11 and a half miles, something like that. Anyway,
13
about
and a
10.
half miles, because 4 times 3 is 12, and then add up 1.5 times 3,
Yeah.
so yeah, so 13 and a half.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, 4. I was doing 3 for some reason. He
Easy
says
mistake to make.
travel 4.5 hours north, and at that point, no more, no less, turn directly east into the foothills and travel for another hour and a half. And after you have traveled for an hour and a half in that direction, you should be near enough to see it. And if you're not, he says, I have a dowsing rod which is attuned to that location that you can use to pinpoint it precisely. And he pulls out 2 wooden 90-degree rods from a small pile of stuff, almost as if he knew exactly where they were, even with all the clutter. He just reaches in and grabs them, and he holds them up,
Ooh.
and he says, "These will allow you to directly pinpoint um, the grove. Who would like to hold on to them?" He says,
I would.
you could possibly find it without these, with my directions, but this will make the final couple miles much easier."
Does anybody mind if I use the dowsing rods, or is there anybody here who really wants to use them who's better equipped at using them? I just love using dowsing rods. Used to piss my parents off when I was a kid because I didn't understand it was demons. I mean, sorry, that was the OC. Sorry,
OOC.
and he
Pantalk.
keep explaining to me that that's not real. That's magic. I'm like, but it works. Like, no, it didn't work.
Pantalk's like, I don't care. I'm not interested. And Justina says, ooh, I'd like to have one too. Kara, would you mind?
Me. I want the rod.
Fine. I'm always
I
happy
want
to.
the rod.
I'm always happy to promote druidism. I guess I could probably make my own dowsing rod. I won't find that location, but I could use it to find something else. So sure, go
All
ahead.
right,
Traditionally,
Kari,
they're
you can
used to
have
find
the
water.
dowsing rods.
He reminds you how to use them, just in case. He says, as a druid, I'm sure you know, but just in case something should happen to you, this way your companions know. Because, of course, if something happens to you, like you die on the way, your companions are like, oh, we still got to go get these flowers. You're not going to be coming back to town. You're finishing the quest.
Oh no, Justina tells Toddy, no, you can go ahead and keep it. So Kara and Toddy can have the dowsing rods.
Okay, so, yeah,
There's
based
2
on that.
dowsing rods, and you have to use
Yep.
them the same person. It's not like
Yep.
I can use a dowsing rod and
Oh.
then they can use a dowsing rod. You hold one in each hand, and as you near the location, they'll start to turn towards each other. It only works, if it's one person using them.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I thought it was like one stick with 2 prongs, kind of a thing.
Nope.
No, yeah, it's 2 sticks. You hold them in your hands, and if they turn away from each other, it means you're not moving towards it. And when they start to move towards each other, you're moving towards it. And when they cross, you're there. So yeah, it's
Awesome.
dowsing rods plural, but it's like shoes or pants. You have 2 of them, but they're used in conjunction. And
Oh, okay.
he did say these are specifically tuned, kind of like a tuning fork would be, specifically tuned to this location. So
I have one of those in my backpack.
a tuning fork.
Yep, it is the A440 note that whenever I finally do go back to Scarborough Fair is what I will use to tune my mandolin.
Oh. Or you
Sweet.
could just play the tuning fork. You just walk around banging that.
I asked for a tuning fork at Christmas for like 5 years or 4 years in a row. And finally somebody got the clue that I might have actually been serious, and I got it.
Like not even dropping hints, just straight up asking for it, and they're like, "Oh, haha,
Well,
you're so
well,
funny."
you do a list, and every year I'm like, okay, I would like a bone or horn guitar pick. I would like a tuning fork. And I listed like 4 things every single year, and then every year it's like, oh, they don't think I'm serious. Sorry,
So,
that was sorry.
no, that's funny and appropriate. So who was Nick had said 2, but who would like to take the pair of dowsing rods?
Kara, you can have the dowsing rods. You look even more excited to use them than I am. Plus, I run a good chance of Tom Bombadilling them.
So he looks at the party who is all looking at Kara, and he hands them to him and says, "Here, you seem to know what you're doing with druidic matters, so I think you can probably handle them just fine." And he says, so along with my instructions, I do want to give you some warning. He says, as I mentioned, this grove is strongly linked to the Feywild. In fact, the border between the material plane and the Feywild there is incredibly thin, and periodically, occasionally, frequently, creatures and effects from the Feywild tend to slip over to the material plane in that place. He says it doesn't cause much trouble, any trouble. He corrects it. He says that and then corrects himself. It doesn't cause much trouble, any trouble, to the local people, because many years ago, when those things were happening, the whole grove was surrounded with a chain made of cold iron, to keep all of the Fey happenings inside the grove. He says, but be aware, once you step past that chain and enter the grove, you're entering the realm of the Fey. So use caution,
Shit.
don't believe your eyes, and stick to the path. Hold on 1 minute.
Oh, Faye again. I hate those guys.
Yeah, they always seem to turn up, don't they? And he says, 1 second. Yeah, and he says, of course you're entering into their land. If should you come across some that tend to be hostile, don't be afraid to defend yourself. They would not hesitate to harm you, and you should not hesitate to harm them. He says, of course, don't go around like just willy-nilly burning, killing anything you want, but don't be afraid to defend yourself with force if needed. He says, but it's not like there's any huge rips in the Feywild or anything. There shouldn't be any monstrous creatures coming through. It's mostly just harmless effects and minor creatures who curiously cross over the plains.
Toddy, who hasn't been paying attention, is like, right, yes, follow our dead relatives into the Yale Woods. Got it.
And he says, yes, and finally, my actual quest is I just need about let me see what I wrote just so I thought about it. He says, I need at least 12 ounces of flowers, including heads and petals. So you can be the judge of how much you collect. I just need at least 12 ounces worth to sustain me until the next harvesting period. And any more than that you collect, of course, I'll compensate you accordingly. I'm not going to stiff you and be like, oh, thanks for gathering extra. Here's exactly what I offered you. He says the offer is for the quest, which is a minimum of 12. But if you gather more, I'll give you just extra gold to make up the difference. And he says, but yeah, other than that, just, check out the forest. There's not any specific places the flowers grow. They can grow anywhere at any time during the night. So when you're ready to leave, you can let me know or not, as long as you return. He says, again, I caution you against traveling at night, but do what you must do. And do you have any questions or requests from me before you leave?
I do. When we pluck these, are we supposed to just pluck like the top half of the flower like you do with like morel mushrooms, or are we supposed to take the whole root?
He says, the flower is all that I need. The roots and stems can sometimes be eaten as snacks, but they don't have any particular medicinal properties. Of course, there are flowers and things like that you use the whole plant. With this particular flower, it's only the leaves and the what do you call it, stamen?
Yeah, the flower, the top part. I was just trying to find
stamen.
out because, like, with morel mushrooms, if you take the root, they won't grow back, and eventually they'll go extinct because it's very rare for them to grow new plants. So when you go mushrooming, you'll actually like learn where the morels each individual one is at, and if you do it enough, you'll be like, "There's one missing. Somebody came through here and plucked the whole damn thing," and then that's one less morel for all of
Yeah.
eternity. And so that's why I was asking, because if we go and pluck them, we come back with all the roots. You're like, "Well, great, that's the last batch we're ever gonna get."
He says, "Oh yes, that's a good point." He says, "No, not like mushrooms at all." He says, "In fact, with that close to the Feywild, it's really more of a magical occurrence of the seeds blowing through the veil
Okay.
and lodging themselves in the ground. And in addition to that, even if you were to gather every single flower you found, they don't all bloom at once. So there are plenty of flowers that bloom, go to seed, and replant themselves every night of the full moon, before the full moon. The ones you find and harvest, unless you go into a specific area and harvest it for every single night of them blooming, it's pretty much impossible to get rid of all of them. It's just that on any given night, they're so rare to find that is kind of what makes them rare. Is their
Cool. Okay.
the location they have to be gathered in, the time of day, the time of month, etc., etc. And it's kind of like saffron, where you don't get very much per flower, but 12 ounces should be a night's harvest worth for a party of your size.
Good to know. I was curious because I haven't done much gardening in my day, but I do have a little experience. And then I start looking
He's,
at my drink again.
he says, "Yes, very good question. I would be quite disappointed if you brought me 12 ounces of flowers, stem and all, because that would be probably like an eighth of what I requested."
Jacina asks if we need to do anything special, like harvest it with a sickle and catch it with a silver sickle and catch it in a wooden bowl so that it never like touches the ground.
He says, "No, it's not quite a magical, quite as magical of a plant as that. It's just a flower that happens to have origins in the Feywild." He says, "But if you're good with the sickle and herbalist tools, you could probably cut a little bit closer
Oh,
to the stem than just simply plucking the flower off."
Does
So,
it? Does anybody have like a sickle or herbalist tools, or do we need to borrow some?
Wait, I might
I don't
actually
have
have them.
any.
Wait, I think Jacina actually has them. Hold on.
Oh, sure. But
Okay.
when I'm wondering if I bought rations, nope,
Okay,
didn't come in that kit.
she's proficient with herbalism kit and alchemy kit. Let's check her inventory. I do have an herbalism kit, no alchemy kit, but I do actually have an herbalism kit.
Wow, holy fucking shit.
I'm a druid.
he
Sweet.
says, "Great, then yes, definitely use that kit while you're gathering them, and it will help your yield to be a bit better. But don't worry about damaging them particularly. They're not gonna. It's not like your whole harvest will be useless or anything like that. But that might
All right.
definitely help you. Maybe some of the more delicate flowers that would become crushed and worthless. You might be able to salvage them with that kit."
For a second there, I thought you were ordering us to rough up some hooded maidens.
I'll gather as many as I can and stomp the rest to foil any who come after me.
I love it.
All right.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, I think. Other than the information about the Fae and everything else, do you have any other information about the journey there? And also, when we're talking to people around town, is there any sort of a particular thing we could watch for to see if they're associated with evil? Like, do they have tattoos, or are there keywords we should look for? Because we've been talking to quite a few people, but it's hard to
Yeah,
tell who to trust.
yeah. One of the key phrases is if they say "Let's go, Brandon," they're definitely evil.
If only
He
it was that
he
easy in this game.
he. I know, right? He dejectedly shakes his head and he says, "No, unfortunately, the agents of evil are quite good at keeping their guys up." He says, "Unless you were to catch one of
Ooh.
them in an act of evil, or directly be betrayed by one of them, it is quite difficult to suss out their true intents." He says, "Much of my information has been gathered um, as hearsay from third parties of people who saw someone doing something, or thought they saw something, or thought they heard something. He says, which is why I believe it to be true, but I don't have anything for certain. But if you had some sort of encounter with someone that you knew them to be a liar or deception or anything like that, then certainly that's not someone we would want in our town anyway, regardless of their affiliation. But it would certainly be a good indicator that they may be in league with evil. But no, just try and get to know people as best you can, and hope that they don't screw you over. But if they do screw you over, tell me about it.
Okay, well, that's all I had to ask.
He says, all right, well, if you have any other questions, I will be here most of the time if I'm not out on another duty. And if I'm not here, my assistant will be tending the grove. So anything else you need, I will be here. No worries about losing a chance to talk to me or ask me questions. But
All right.
he
What's
says, all
your
right.
assistant's name? Just curious.
He says, random name generator.
Oh my god.
D&D random name generator.
Oh my god. I hear that. I hear that.
Elf names. Nope. Where am I? Oh, I'm too far. He says her name is Shirl. She is a half-elf druid, and she tends to my grove when I'm not here.
Okay, good.
Okay. Good to know.
Pantok says, yes, I know that girls love a well-tended grove. Pantok
Yes, they do.
Pantok is very well mage-scaped.
Uh,
That was a stretch, but I stand by it.
That's why
Okay.
you have. That's why you have Ray of Fire or whatever.
Yeah, just one quick Brazilian. Woof.
Why are your fireballs always in the shape of a pubic mount?
Wow, Pantok, you really stock a lot of aloe vera. Okay, well, thanks, and we leave. Click, click, click. Clop, clop, clop.
Leave.
So, do we need to go anywhere before we head out? I think we're all charged up with our abilities. Do we want to, like... I don't think we need anything, right? Are we just ready,
No,
ready to head off?
I'm ready to go, man.
yeah, I'm ready to go, I think.
You think?
Which direction is it?
No.
It'll be north, which is this way.
Oh
All right.
boy.
And what time of day are you leaving? Are you leaving now?
Yeah, I think we can leave now.
Hey, wait up! Wait for
Okay.
me!
Oh, you guys are so slow. Meow.
Pantok's running out ahead.
Well, I guess since I'm
You
already
leave.
all the way over here.
Wait, where'd my character go?
About 8 o'clock, 8:30, you set out on your way, and you travel along the road, and let's see. How are you traveling? What's your marching order on the road? Keep in mind, it's a nice, wide open 10-foot road, so you can have any marching order you would like.
Justina is skipping and Pantok is prancing. I'm just kidding. Okay.
Okay, what is your prancing order?
Okay. I think it should be Kara in front, like kind of scouting, and then
Yes.
Justina, Pantok, Toddy. Isn't that how we usually
Works
do
for
it?
me. Yeah, but I think the point is he's saying we don't have to walk single file right now.
You can
But
if you want to.
Okay. Actually, so since we're traveling a long distance, let's do
2 by 2.
Yeah, and let's do Justina and Toddy in the front. Justina's got the perception and survival and stuff, and then Toddy's got like the stealth. and like scouting, and then the 2 wizards in the back to stay protected.
Toddy
Justina
doesn't
Kara?
have scouting or stealth.
Huh?
Did you mean Justina and Kara?
Justina Kara in front, Toddy and Pantok in back.
Okay. So you travel along. Oh God, what did I do? Camera mode, third person. You travel along the road for an hour, and during that time, nothing eventful happens. You continue traveling for another hour,
Uh-oh.
and still nothing eventful happens. You continue traveling for a third hour, nothing eventful happens. A fourth hour, and finally it's coming up on the half-hour mark at 4.5 hours. What do you do?
We once we hit about the right spot, we turn east.
Should we stop for water? Should we take like a break or anything?
I'm gonna just keep going if you guys
You take a little
you
short
guys
walk
want.
break. It's not 4 hours
Oh,
of forced
yep.
marching. You can stop and take little 5-minute breaks. That's included in travel time.
Okay,
Fair
I guess
enough.
there's nothing. Well, I mean, Justina would like to forage.
Ooh, foraging.
You're that Outlander thing or whatever, right?
Am I? Hold on. Background. No, it's actually
Oh, hermit.
hermit.
So the footpaths are you're not exactly in the wilderness. You're on kind of a well-traveled foot road.
Oh.
Unless you're walking out into the fields, there's not a whole lot to harvest here of any sort of food value.
Nah, I won't mess with it then while I'm traveling. So yeah.
That
no.
makes me wonder if the hooded maiden tastes good or not.
Yeah,
always
I
Because
mean,
you know how there's like some flowers that you can like pluck and they like taste sweet and stuff.
Broccoli is a flower.
cannabis is a flower.
Artichoke's a flower.
I'm a
Cannabis does
flower.
not taste good though. But
All
it's
right,
good.
you turn east into the meadow and continue walking. It has now been 5 hours, and I believe he said to walk for an hour and a half east.
Yep.
Was that right?
1
All
hour
right.
and a half east, and then we should see the grove.
All right. So at the end of the 6th hour of total travel time, you find yourself in the middle of rolling green grassy meadows, and you don't see any grove in sight, but there's hills all over, and it could be hiding anywhere.
Kara, I think it's probably about time to pull out those rods.
Rod. Oh hell yeah. I take it out of my backpack and I kind of stare at it and I only picked it up because I thought it looked cool. Justina, you're the real druid around here. Would you like
Suddenly
to take
3
a
elders
shot at this?
appear. What's that you got there?
Oh no.
Oh, like James when we were harassing him at his house.
Go, jump in the car, go! But his sister was obviously finishing up a committee meeting.
Oh.
If it was a shepherding call, it would have been 2, but there was 3 elders.
Oh wow. Okay, so we didn't really fuck with James. It just hurt his sister a little bit.
Probably. No, but you know what's so fucked up? See, that tells you something. When I got arrested, my dad, that night, after he broke me out of jail, called 4 elders. Who does that? And he refused to tell them why until they got over.
He did like forming a group in EverQuest where you don't tell the other people of who's all showing up.
And then one of them's dragging their corpse, hoping to get arrested. Oh, no cleric. They actually kind of got on to my dad, too, about it. They were like, because when my dad still hadn't questioned me or asked why I got arrested or what happened, and then come to find out that it was because of his shortcomings and failings, and that I was put into a situation that nobody would help me out of because I'd begged for help.
Any luck yet, Kara?
Kara offered the rods to you, and he is currently holding them up to Justina as she talks to
Oh,
Toddy.
Because
okay.
you're the
Oh, my
druid
bad.
here.
What?
You
We-
should be
we
be doing this cool stuff.
We came all this way, and you were looking forward to it, I'm sure. Here, how about this?
Well,
You hold the rods, but I'll show you how to use them. It's not that hard.
okay.
Okay, and Justina is going to kindly and kind of like a teacher is going to instruct Kara and walk him through the proper use of dowsing rods. And he makes some mistakes at first, but then like gets better and it starts getting smoother. And then Justina gives words of encouragement. Oh, there you go, you got it. See, you would have figured this out on your own. You're so smart. Like that good teacher that some people had in kindergarten.
Oh, and then they reproved me anyways.
You have this giant imagination of how this is going to go. Your character, you have this grandeur visions of you're going to do that and be the mentor and everything. And as soon as Kara holds up the rod, they immediately point in a direction.
No.
Beep beep.
Let's go that
Well,
direction.
I mean, sure.
Lead on.
I hold the rod in front of me while walking and make like beep noises. Beep 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 like a little
Sonar.
device. Yeah, like that. And the closer we get, the more beeps I do.
You do that. And they start beep 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 beep, and as they start beeping very quickly, you see over the hill in front of you is a small grove, no more than maybe 2 miles in either direction, kind of oblong shaped.
Wow. Nature can be pretty beautiful. Gotta admit.
Sweet. Yeah, this is what I've been waiting for, says Justina.
Do I
Pantox.
see any floating lights? Because I want to follow the floating lights.
You do not see any floating lights.
Pantox.
That's good because it was a joke.
The trees are very tall, not quite the height of the great Ipt trees, but they are dozens of feet tall.
What kind of trees are these?
Are
Gary
they? You said they
Gygaxian
were
trees.
tall trees, tall twees. Want to
Tall,
go to
they're tall
Canada
ones.
to visit the tall twees.
They're tall ones.
No one, absolutely no one, will ever get that reference, and I still have to do it every time.
Nope, sorry.
Nope.
Yep. So that's there.
About what time of day is it?
You left at 8:30, and you were traveling for 6 hours. So 4:30.
4:30. Huh.
So it's just past midday. The sun is still high in the sky, and the wind blows
No,
through
that
the
would be
trees. over the
2:30.
grass.
We could have a lovely
Yeah,
picnic.
2:30.
2:30. So we got time because we can't pluck them until the night, anyways. Yeah, we could. I mean, we didn't stop for lunch. We stopped and took some like water breaks and stuff. We could
Yeah.
chill and tell stories by the campfire, and a tiny fake illusionary campfire appears.
I'd be happy to rest here until it's time.
I would too, unless anybody wants to go exploring, which I have a feeling is going to lead to mayhem. But
Yeah,
you know, I like the chaos.
we'll
This
do
is-
that too.
It's a good time to forage, I think. That's what Justina wants to do.
Sure.
I want to go foraging with Justine.
Literally the
and
one
look for
place you probably
poisons.
shouldn't forage, but I'm just saying.
Pantox says, I'm not really that interested in nature stuff. I was actually right in the middle of this chapter. I think I'm gonna finish it up. I'm gonna sit here with Toddy and wait.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna
Okay.
stay back. I'm gonna fill up my my mug with some more of this water because I didn't think to fill up and get some alcohol before we left. And I'm gonna flavor it like one of the alcohols that I've tried from the inn, and I'm gonna sip on it and I'm gonna pretend like it's making me tipsy.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Justina, if you notice any water source too, let us know so we can fill up our skins. And she
Yeah,
says,
probably
okay.
be a good idea.
So she's gonna head into the nearby forest area and search around for food
into
and
the
also water.
into the grove.
No, not no.
There is no other nearby forest. You're in rolling green grassy hills.
Oh, and then just this forest just sitting there.
Yep.
Okay, so how far away is the forest?
Currently maybe 1,000 feet from you, at the bottom of this hill area.
Do you guys want to camp at the bottom of the hill so that the forest is closer for me to forage in?
Yeah.
Why are you scared?
I just don't want to be more than 300 feet apart.
How very mathematically inclined of you.
That
Yeah,
seems to be
we
the
can camp
range
where.
where we could reasonably meet up if there was just something bad.
Yeah, and that's within yelling range, I guess. I mean, we can do that. We can move a little closer to there, and then I have an idle like think out loud moment. I go, God, I'm having this only having water with and not having any alcohol because I forgot to fill it first. I need to invent some sort of like a magical mini portable brewing kit that I can take with me. Just an idle thought that I had out loud.
We could probably
Hmm.
find one back in town. There was lots of crafters.
That would be really cool to be able to just boop, magically brew some alcohol whenever I feel
Oh,
like.
magically. Oh, I think we need like a
Well,
jug
a
of
portable
whatever.
brewing kit I would have to fill up, and then 10 years from now, after 2 weeks of in-game time has passed. That's why a magical one that I can pour the water in like 2 hours later, when we're chilling. It's like, boop, now I've got some alcohol that's made from whatever greenery and flowers I found in the air. I want to get some extra flowers, and I want to try making hooded maiden alcohol.
Okay. All right. So the four of us head down
that.
to the bottom of the hill to the edge of the forest so that they can camp and rest while we do some foraging.
All right. As your party walks down the hill and approaches the the looming trees of the forest, you get closer to it, and from the bottom of the hill, it's maybe like 400 or 500 feet away, and you can see from here the thick iron chains that are surrounding this place, keeping the Fae in. They are
Oh, Christ.
The chains are maybe an inch thick, each individual band, and they are looped around the branches of trees, and they go the entire perimeter of the woods, at least as far as you can see. It just goes off into the distance, and they're
Or-
covered in a thin, rusty scale. Um, and there's like little bits of rust that have blown off of them during the years, and rests on the grass, and there's just like little bits of things that show they've been there for a long time. They're kind of dug into and grown around the branches. Some of them are staked onto the trees where there were no branches. It's like there would be a spot where it's drooping and it's got like an iron stake hammered into the tree. And the closer you get to the woods, you hear a faint sound of harps, flutes, and eerie singing, which seems to emanate from the woods. But if you try to focus on the sounds to hear where they're coming from, they start to fade, so you can't hear them anymore.
Okay, so a
So yeah,
couple
go
of
ahead and
things.
go in and forage.
A couple of things. One, did you not hear the creepy description that Jaru gave us before we left? Which is why when you were like, "I'm going to forage," I'm like, "Yeah, good luck, have fun with that," and you were never seen again. Two, question: the chains, the way you described them, is it just like one loop around, or is it like loop after loop, crisscrossed all over?
It's
To
it's a single. It is a single chain. The like I said, the links themselves are like an inch thick, like in the gauge of the wire that was used to make it.
right,
Uh,
but it's just like one loop around, like
yeah,
like
it's
an
just
electric fence. It's not
right.
like looped and around and around and
Right. It's not like wrapping to physically keep them in. It's just more of a deterrent of like the cold iron is something they won't. It's like a circle of salt for a demon. It's something that they won't cross. So just having it wrapped around the trees is generally enough to keep them in.
okay, all right.
Um,
So I sit down on the ground and I'm like, well, have fun with that. Pantalk, do you have any good books to read? Because I could use some to go with my alcohol flavored water.
yeah, I don't think there's going to be any food in that forest that I want to consume in any way whatsoever. So yeah, I'll just rest out here with you guys. But let me know when you're ready to go in, because I'm anxious to get in there and deal with these Fae. I've had encounters with them before, and it's not very pleasant.
You could forage in the foothills.
How long does it take to do a ritual again? Is it 10 minutes or an
longer than
hour?
the spell.
10 minutes
Okay.
plus casting time.
Then while we're sitting there, I would like to take my River Rock Stone with the eye thing out, and I want to do an identify ritual on it.
Alrighty. Do you have the pearl for identify?
Ah, fuck!
Been holding that one. I've
No!
been holding that one for 5 sessions.
God
Pearl.
damn it, I
It does
forgot
not
about
consume.
that.
It requires, but does not consume a pearl worth at least 100 pieces of gold.
I'm gonna have to save up money and get a pearl. Damn.
Oh yeah, 100. Yeah, so we couldn't have
It'd
not
be-
afforded one in town before we left.
Be cheaper to just buy a clam and shove some sand in it and wait a little while.
And wait a decade. They do that. That's how they make artificial pearls.
Yep. Doesn't take a decade.
Yeah. All right. So where did you guys? You said you're just sitting there waiting.
Yeah, I was going to ask Pantok, since I can't do the identify ritual, I was going to ask Pantok if he have any spare books or anything that seemed like something I would be interested in reading.
Oh,
I mean, I am a wizard after all, so, maybe we could sit there.
Well, hold on. Let me see. He does have a few books, but I don't know if. So let me see. He's got a book of lore, and then he's also got the Faded Tome of Elemental Evil, and that's the one that he got. That's like his quest items, so he's kind of protective of that. So he offers you his book of lore, and he says that this is a collection of a lot of interesting, varied pieces of information that he's learned while he was in college.
cool.
It's kind of like
Thank you.
It's got like newspaper clippings and handwritten text and stuff like that in it.
I would like to, I'm going to chill with it then for a little bit. You see some glasses appear on my nose, but they slide down a little bit and I have to push them back up, and I start reading the book.
All right. You read the
The
book.
glasses were illusion.
But since it's an illusion, since an illusion affects like what you see, they actually work as glasses because it bends the light and everything.
Oh my god, I could totally do that. I didn't even think about that. I was just picturing them with empty lenses, like just the frames, like on this original Superman TV show that you had to do.
You always alter the illusion to be whatever is the object your eyes are pointing at, but up close and a clearer version of it. A miniaturized clear version, which is literally what glasses are.
Sweet, that's awesome. And I start reading it. Do I learn anything? You're like, I didn't think of this ahead of time, so no.
You come across a couple of interesting things in there, but nothing that seems relevant to what you're doing.
Oh, I didn't care about relevancy.
If
I
it's
just
not
wanted to read
interesting,
the book.
it's not in my book.
Relevancy?
Relevant?
Relevancy? Relevant?
Objection, relevancy.
Relevancy?
And
I'm
Justina was not
having a-
foraging, correct?
Yes, she's gonna forage in the foothills.
Okay, so
And
make
look
a
for a stream,
survival
too.
check as you walk around,
Yay!
keeping your party in vision, but climbing up and down the hills and searching around for food and water.
Well, I guess I'll just roll over here. No sense because we're not using the map. Roll 11 plus survival. You said right? So 15 survival.
It's a good season for foraging. It's middle of spring, and you're able to find plenty of edible young stalks of greens like wild onions and young ryegrass and little low-lying berries like blueberries and service berries, and you even find a couple of small natural springs that you're able to drink from and determine are safe to drink from, and or fill up your water skin and those of your parties if you'd like to.
Ooh, I could totally use that to brew an onion rye alcohol and then turn it into a lambic. I bet that would be awful.
And Justina says, "Oh yeah, and you'll need yeast, and I have an idea."
Suddenly suddenly I'm just like, yep, and there we go. Now I don't ever want to drink anything onion rye flavored.
That's how they did it back in the day.
She pulls out a piece
Pretty
of
sure that's not how they did it.
she pulls out a piece of bread that she brought from the inn, and she was like, I was gonna say this oat bread.
Where you've been keeping
Oh,
the bread.
okay. Well, unfortunately, I don't know enough about brewing yet. Which, God, now that I think about it, since my goal is to own like the celebrity world's biggest, most amazing party tavern and casino, I should probably learn how to brew alcohol so that I can have my own like signature craft line and stuff. I'm gonna have to remember that next time I find a library to get some books on it and learn how.
You could just put bread and water and just leave it in a jar in the sun and see what happens.
Yeah, good alcohol, and also I'm doing this in character. This is my character literally was saying that.
Justine
I think
said that in
Justine
character.
Yeah, I'm sure I could. Leave some stuff out in the sun and see what happens. I'm sure a lot of what's going to happen is me running, running to the chamber pot a lot. But hey,
Actually, as a hermit, Justina has some experience brewing simple wines. So if you wanted, she could spend about an hour and show you how to get started, including harvesting wild yeast.
I would love. Wait a minute. This feels like a trap.
No, I'm speaking hesitantly because I'm waiting I'm giving the DM time to decide if he wants to allow that.
It's like when I'm walking up to the white van and it says candy van on it. And I'm like,
You're not.
I don't know what
proficient-
type of candy.
You're not proficient with brewer's tools either, but you could certainly get a good head start.
I have a
I'd love any
jar
info
in
you
my
have to start
herbalism
running.
kit. If you want to borrow one of my jars, you could use that to try to brew something.
Yeah, but I don't know how to brew anything yet, so you would have to tell me like what I need to do.
Yeah, we could spend like an hour and I could show you how to do that before we go in the forest.
Cool. Which of the ingredients are we going to pick? Not the onion. I was just joking about making onion rye. That sounds really awful.
Actually, we could use some rye, and I also found these edible flowers that are similar to hops to give it some flavor. And I think this is barley, so that we could actually malt. You just need a wet cloth, and you place the barley in the wet cloth, and let them sprout. And when they do, then it changes the sugar composition of the barley, and then you can brew it up. All you need to do is boil some water, and she walks you through the process.
So you say all
7
of those
years
things?
from now, we're going to be sitting there, and so you're going to be like, "Oh, your alcohol is ready." My what?
You say all of those things, except you say them in the sense
D&D
of
vernacular.
if I had these things, I would show you how to do them because you don't have those things.
I don't have barley.
You didn't find any barley. I said you
Damn.
find young rye sprouts.
You said
and
rye, yeah.
Yeah,
What?
I didn't say anything about flowers either. Remember, we're doing like a hardcore crafting system. Those are
Berries.
things you can actually collect and gather.
Oh,
Yeah,
didn't
he
find
said
any of those things.
that's why I
Oh,
was very
oh,
specific
oh,
about
oh,
the
oh.
onion rye
Yeah,
lambic.
we don't just
because he
hand wave
found
and say you found a bunch of stuff. Those you found. If you want to write
berries
down
and
I
rye
am.
and
Yes,
onion.
now I am.
onions,
Yes.
blueberries, service berries, and young rye stalks.
Oh, shit. No, I thought you were just being descriptive. Oh, shit. Okay.
There's a reason why I was specifically like onion rye and then turn it
Okay,
into a lambic because that was the stuff, the ingredients that he said.
Okay, can you list those again real quick? Onion stalks,
Wild onions,
wild onions,
young rye, so not fully seeded, and blueberries and service berries.
nice.
And it's just a mixture of those things. I haven't given you a quantity yet, but how much food does a party need? How much food does a person need? Is a pound a day?
Yeah.
So you find 2 pounds of those things in combination in roughly equivalent parts. So half a pound each, you could say.
Can I have some of the wild onion? Because I just want to make sure that when, Jacita's teaching me that she doesn't try any funny business to get me to get some yeast.
Well, it doesn't seem like we have enough to brew, so I'm just going to hold on to them for now. And actually, since we can actually do stuff with it, I'm just going to consume my rations and save these. Speaking of
Yeah, that sounds like a
rations,
good
should we
idea.
subtract any because we had we did a long rest?
You've been eating it. The inn provides free food and
Well,
water.
that's
You've
right.
been
The
eating
inn
it.
has food. We only need
Yep.
to consume rations when
We
sleep in the
specifically
wilderness.
ate at the inn this morning
That's
before
right.
we left.
That's right. Yep. So yeah. Okay. Cool. So So I'll
Come on, the
say
most shocking
we-
thing about all of this is that I'm actually been paying attention and can think tonight.
Yeah, yes, it's making me more engaged because I'm like, okay, sure, I brew some stuff too, and then you're like, wait, but you have to look at the items Jake gave you, and I'm like, oh shit.
And it's going to take like 7 years of real life time.
It doesn't take 7 years to brew.
That's just for it to mature. It takes like a week to brew out.
Yes, but like a week or two in game is going to take us like 7 years.
Oh, right.
Oh.
Yeah, true. Actually,
We'll have downtime. That's what downtime is. We'll get to that eventually once you guys start to level up and stuff.
yeah.
That
time
was why I
passes
made the
fast.
joke 10 years from now. You're like, oh, your alcohol's ready.
Hey,
What? Am I right?
Look at it this way: if we actually spent less time role playing and doing minute things, we could actually have a game where we actually gloss over those things and actually move on with the game and get a little bit further. You guys could have said we travel to the Grove, and I'd be like, okay, you're in the Grove, and you go, okay, we're here, let's go in, and we spent the last hour and a half foraging and role playing, which is cool. It just depends on what you want to do. So, on what level you want to make progress. You've made a lot of progress in the last 3 days, but it's all been very fine, detailed progress.
Yeah.
Is that not how you
So-
want the campaign run? Do you want us to not
You
quite?
can. I want the campaign run however you guys want it to. You're making jokes about 7 years is going to take. No, this campaign is completely free. However you guys want to do it. You say what you would like to do, and I will say what's required to accomplish it.
Okay. I was just I just make jokes about how long like real life time.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, it's
time.
a funny joke. I'm just saying it's a joke, but also doesn't have to be a thing. You could totally skip over the role playing moments. You could say I want Justina to show me how to brew, and I'll be like, okay, cool, and that
Plus,
happens.
With the way leveling up is going to work, we are going to have lots of downtime to do that type of stuff. That'll speed
that
things
too,
up.
exactly.
I was just making a joke.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, not a very good or funny one.
So if everyone's ready, let's head into the Grove.
Woohoo!
Is it
Grove
time to head into the
time!
Grove?
Woo-hoo.
Justina.
Do you wait until nighttime? So you've been showing
Oh,
Toddy
yes,
how
that's right.
to brew. You're instructing her the basics without actually doing it because you don't want to use your stuff.
Just kind of explaining it.
You consume your half a day's of rations because it has been half a day. Well, no, you ate breakfast, so you'll only have to eat the second half of the day.
Oh, I give
and-
Pantalk back the book because I don't want to, risk like losing it or anything. And I'm like, thanks. I may pick it up and read some more later.
Cool.
And then, did everyone drink and refill their water skins at the ponds that you found?
Yes.
Yep. So half a gallon. So now this will get me through the rest of the day.
Okay. Yep. You all have full water skins and full stomach still from breakfast, and you time skip until evening.
Yes.
Okay. The sun begins to set, and it starts to go down over the horizon to the east, over the far distance of the gnarly woods, and nighttime begins to fall. It is dusk, but within probably 30 minutes, it'll be true nighttime.
I have a dumb question real quick, but because I'm looking at my stuff, it says a water skin. So I basically have a water skin that's capable of holding 1 day's worth of water.
Half a day's water.
Right. One water skin holds half a day's worth of water.
Holy shit.
Which
Okay,
if
that's
you
something on my list to buy.
if you camp at a place that has water, you can drink water in the morning and refill your water skin, and that water skin will get you through the rest of the day. But if you don't then find water by the next morning, you have to find water the next day or you'll begin to get dehydrated.
Got it. Okay, cool. And
And-
you
and
said we
just
consume a half a ration?
You don't have to consume any food yet because we're only halfway through the day. But tonight,
Okay.
when you make camp, you'll consume half a ration.
Okay, I'm good. Thank you. Sorry.
And Justina showed you a water source. Okay, yeah, so we skipped the I was gonna say my spells. I don't want to change my spells.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Okay.
that would have been in the morning, but you would have had a chance to do it.
Yeah, Pantalk doesn't really have spells to change, and
Sorry.
Justina's got a pretty good loadout. She hasn't really used a lot, so I mean,
When knowing where you're going, are there any specific spells you might want to swap, or you're still good with what you
no, I
have?
don't think so. So I've got Entangle, Fairy Fire, Healing Word, Ice Knife, and Speak with Animals. and we're in a fairy grove. So I've got damage, I've got heals, I can speak with animals if we see them, and fairy fire and entangle are good area controls. So I think that's good. I'm not gonna bother my group asking them what they think because I mean that's a pretty good. If we don't really know what to expect, I think that's good. Zone of Truth is level 2, I think. So yeah, I think I'm gonna keep those. I'm gonna glance at it real quick, and if I need to retcon anything, I will.
Yeah,
But otherwise,
can-
I'm planning on keep. Any decision I'll make before I realize what spell I need to use.
Yeah, yeah. If you get to a point where you go, "Oh shit, I wish I had gotten that spell," that's too late.
Just gonna double check and make sure. But yeah. Anyway, then I think staying together and in the same formation with Jacina and Kara leading, then we will carefully cross the boundary into the domain of the Fae.
All right.
Do we have good light sources?
Oh, Jake, could you tell Mom that Noah's ready whenever she's pick him up?
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, did the call not go through? I saw it ringing.
No, yeah, he came back and said no answer, and I was like, well, okay, bye.
I will be right back. Two quick things. Kara, were you doing anything during the rest? You don't have to tell me. I'm just if there was something you wanted to do while they were doing that stuff, you could be. And the other thing is, yes, answer Zach's question about light sources. Consider who has dark vision, who doesn't, and remember, darkness is still dim light to the creatures with dark vision. So light sources aren't a bad idea. Be right back.
I have
Sure.
dark vision and everything, but we're about to enter into a border between the Fey realm and the not so Fey realm, and so I just wanted to find out: did anybody take any light spells or cantrips or anything?
I do not have light. I have no. The closest thing I have is firebolt. I've got torches though. Both of my characters have dark vision.
I have dark vision too. Woo.
Same here, and I do have a torch, 10 torches, but I'd rather not use them if we can avoid using them. But this is probably one of those situations where it's not a bad idea to at least burn one of the torches, or maybe 2 torches, one for every other person, type of thing.
Yeah, kind of. It'd be nice to have a lantern. Lanterns are actually way more light than a torch.
Should I put that on my list of things to buy eventually?
Yeah, because they're not expensive, and you fuel them with oil, and and they give out like way more light than a torch. So yeah, we totally should. Also, torches can be an issue if you use them indoors a lot because they make smoke. Light source.
And she'll be there in a little bit. She's finishing something up.
Okay. What Toddy, what are your cantrips?
Mage Hand, Minor Illusion, Prestidigitation, and Toll the Dead. I held my arms out like a zombie when I said that. In game, in character, and IRL.
And what are your spells?
Mage Armor, which so far I just never use because I only have 2 spell slots. Why would I want to waste a spell slot on armor when I could, it's like I could, but then it's also like, but then that means I'm only going to get one big damage spell one time. That's it.
But you have Arcane Recovery, which recovers a spell slot and a short rest. So since we were sitting out here for a few hours, you could.
That's a good idea. Cast Mage Armor, burn Arcane Recovery, and then I still got 2 spell slots, and now I got Mage Armor for the rest of the evening, relatively speaking.
Yep. So let's do that. So Toddy and Pantok are burning their Arcane Recovery.
Yep, I'm glad I mentioned that about Mage Armor.
So all right, so you both cast Mage Armor and then short rest to recover it. Go ahead, Toddy.
How do I indicate that I've done that on my sheet without like permanently fucking up my sheet and forgetting? And then I'm like, I've got 16 AC, and you're like, how do you have 16 AC? I don't know.
Under equipped items, add Mage Armor. It's actually an item that you can equip.
Okay, now I gotta find equipped items.
Pretty weird, but yeah, it's on page 1. It's right there, or page 2, the top of page 2. It's right under your attacks and notes.
Okay, I've got it. I got it. All right, Mage Armor.
Yep, and that'll pop it on, and then make sure you note down that
that I burned my Arcane Recovery. Yeah, I'm highlighting the cell green when it means I still have it, and then I'm going to turn it to a red when I've used it.
Cool.
Which is how I do my bills spreadsheet. Well, similar. I have different colors for different things. There's a lot of red and yellow on my spreadsheet right now, and I mean a lot.
Also, Pantok, although we haven't mentioned this at all, he has his Earth Elemental pet still that he summoned the previous day.
Oh, yeah.
Once we left town, he took off the fake clothes and stuff, so now it's just a normal earthy boy stomping alongside him. So he's got his Earth pet and mage armor and 2 spell slots, so he is good to go.
Yep, mage armor, 2 spell slots, burn my arcane
Oh.
recovery. I'm gonna light a torch and
I-
have that up and going.
I have a quick question about spells. So Jacina can swap out her spells, and she has a lot. She's like the one person in group that has a huge amount of versatility because she can swap out any spell. So she knows every single level 1 spell. Does anyone have detect magic? Specifically, Toddy, do you
I
have?
do not.
I think you read your spells. There's no detect magic, right?
No detect magic. I don't. Might be something worth considering taking in the
Okay,
future.
Pantok actually does have detect magic, and so he can cast it as a ritual, but it takes 10 minutes. Oh, at level 2, when I do my book, then my rituals are basically instant cast. That's gonna be so sweet. But I think I'm gonna actually drop Conjure Elemental Servant for Pantok and replace it with Detect Magic.
Oh, yeah.
Because since he has his pet already, he can do that. Question: he could do Detect Magic, or his other spell is Silent Image, which is a 15 by 15 cubic foot illusion. And we could combine that with Minor Illusion. You could do sound while I do the image. So, if case we wanted to do some crazy illusion shit, I could take that instead. So, what do you think for Pantok, Detect Magic, or Silent Image?
Detect magic.
Okay, which I can cast as a ritual, but if we really needed, like if we didn't have the 10 minutes, then we could do that. He also has Unseen Servant, which he can which is a ritual, so he can cast it for free, and it lasts for an hour. Is that really? Yeah, it's Unseen Servant's a ritual. Yeah, there's the ritual tag. Okay, so Pantok actually switched his spells out the night before to have Detect Magic. So his stuff is swapped over now. And Unseen Servant lasts for an hour. So before we go into the woods, Pantok is going to cast the spell Unseen Servant, which creates an invisible, mindless, shapeless medium force that can perform simple tasks. It has an AC of 10, 1 hit point, strength of 2, and
You
it
don't have to go
lasts
through
for
it.
1 hour.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The Unseen Servant is like, the things I've seen and been forced to do.
You conjure an Unseen Servant. Did I hear Toddy and Pantok also cast Mage Armor?
Yes, and we used
Yeah,
our
so then
arcane
we-
recovery.
What time
Yep.
were you casting Mage Armor? Up to the short rest an hour, so up to an hour before you go in.
Right out.
Right.
Right before the short rest. Because then we do the short
Okay.
rest to
And you're going to time the
slot.
short rest so that the short rest ends and then you go in.
Exactly.
Basically,
Okay.
yeah. And
Okay.
then we have our 2 spell slots free and we're ready to go.
Just one question about Jacina's spells. I like the spells I have, but do we need Goodberry? Right now she's got Healing Word. Is that enough?
I think that'll be good enough.
Okay.
Goodberry, I guess, if one of us were down or something. But Healing Word is just the better healing spell.
But
way
the
better.
point is she's setting up whether or not she has that spell. So once we go in,
Oh, yeah.
she's not going to have it.
I'd
I'd say
choose Healing
Healing
Word.
Word.
Okay, I'm gonna keep that. Okay, so my spells are all good, and Pantok has an Unseen Servant for an hour and an Earthy
Nice.
Boy that's following him around.
Earthy boy!
And what are everyone's vision stats? What do you have? Who has dark vision? Who doesn't?
I
We
have
all have
dark
dark
vision.
vision.
Are we
You all have dark vision?
I think we're all dark vision 60 feet. Justine and
Sweet.
Pantok are.
Okay, and is anyone using
Same.
any light sources?
I lit a torch.
Pantok and Justina will also light torches. So Justina has her shield, and then she has a torch, which she could drop if she needs to draw her scimitar. And Pantok has his magic wand in one hand and torch in the other. And I'm
I
gonna
bet he does have his magic wand in one hand.
always. And I'm going to deduct one torch since I have one burning on each one of them, and it lasts for 1 hour. And it gives 20 feet of bright light and then 20 feet of dim light. And next time we go to town, we need to buy an oil lantern.
Yep, I put it on my list of things that I want to buy.
Pantok has no torches. He borrows one of Justina's.
Yeah, that'll be fine for now.
I wish I didn't hear so many dice being rolled.
Sorry. Sorry about that. I was just like bored and like, well,
Oh.
not
I
bored.
thought it was Jake.
I
I'm
thought
like
it was
sitting
Jake
here
rolling
sweating
hit points.
too.
I thought there was 30
There's-
Fae.
So,
He's like he's rolling the hit points. He's like determining which enemies are going to be there for us, and it's like the rolls just keep on coming. So obviously he keeps really rolling bad to fuck us over. It's
Oh,
like,
no.
well, another enemy. Oh, there's a god. Oh, nope, there's another angry god.
I'll be rolling as soon as we can actually enter the forest.
Okay.
I just haven't had any chances to roll.
Oh, yeah.
We're set.
Was
We're-
Kara
it's just
was
me.
Kara doing anything during the downtime during the rest, or were you just like taking a nap?
Oh yeah, you better believe I was taking a nap. I was taking the most kobold nap of them all. I
Probably
was
try-
like,
Probably
I
trying to
was
hide
under a
from the sun.
tree. Yeah, I was under a tree, and I was just like, yeah, this is great.
All right. So is Kara holding any torches, or you don't
Nope.
really like light?
No,
So-
I'm reliant on my dark vision.
So a very quick recap of how dark vision works, since it's not magic. Since Nick already said the torch's range and everything, dark vision lets you convert dim light to bright light and darkness to dim light. A torch gives you 20 feet of bright light and 40 feet of dim light total. So with the torch, you have 40 feet of of bright light and 20 additional feet of dim light, and then the rest is darkness. Without a torch, you have 60 feet and it's all dim light. Darkness, you cannot see anything in it. It's pitch black. You can't see creatures. You automatically fail perception checks. Dim light is disadvantage on those checks. So even in total darkness, you can see with disadvantage, but a creature holding a torch would be more advantaged than you because they can actually see clearly. So it's not necessarily that you can see clearly perfectly with dark vision, but you don't have to worry about, oops, my torch went out, now I can't see. So just giving you that
Okay.
opportunity if you did want to use a torch, but you don't have to.
I'd rather not because I do like the cover that darkness brings, and if we are going into the forest now, I would like to sneak ahead and scout and make sure I'm sneaky.
Alrighty. So, yep, you enter the forest. As you cross over the chain, it's kind of like chest height, so you kind of have to crouch underneath it, except for Kara. And the more you go in, as you start to cross past the first couple of trees, the harps and flutes begin to invade your head, and you can kind of hear the music inside your own head. But again, the more you try to stay quiet and still your breathing so you can kind of hear and see, they just kind of fade off into the distance. So it's all around you, it's nowhere all at the same time. There's no sounds of birds chirping or rustling anything other than the sound of the winds blowing through the trees. And are you continuing to walk deeper into the forest? Who is
Yes.
leading? What's your marching order look like? Did you say the same as before, 2x2?
Yeah, but
It
Kara,
sounded
are
like
you
cars.
ahead
I
of
am
us?
scouting ahead. Yes,
How
at
many-
least
Are we
I'd say
keeping an eye out?
30
Are you
feet?
keeping an eye out for the flowers?
Yes.
I'll get to the flower thing in a second.
Yeah, no
right
worries.
now,
I was just thinking.
Yeah, right now I'm establishing marching order and how you guys are approaching. How far ahead is Kara scouting?
Around 30 feet.
Okay.
Maybe. Okay, yeah, 30 feet.
right,
30,
so
30 feet's not very far. That's like within our
Okay.
torchlight still. So if you want to be in the shadows, then you might want to be ahead of that. Like maybe
Yeah,
6 feet.
but don't. But telling her that means that she's not going to
60.
realize that we can see her, and if she goes too far ahead, whoop, no see her. Whoop, she gets sucked into the other world. Whoop, we don't know.
All right, so Kara is 60 feet ahead of the rest of the party. It is currently dim light in the forest as you're still near the entrance, so the moon is nearly full, so it's very bright in the sky. And where you're at currently, it's still pretty bright from behind you, so dim light is still around. Kara is 60 feet ahead. How is the rest of the party situated behind him?
I
Uh,
guess probably kind of in whatever Nick said.
Jacina has the two wizards just 5 feet behind her.
Okay, so it's Kara 60 feet in front, Jacina, and then immediately adjacent and behind are Toddy and Pantok.
Can't talk.
Yep.
Okay. So yes, as you're traveling forward, this is your marching order. What are each of you doing? Kara's looking for danger, trying to be stealthy. Are all of you moving stealthily?
Timo scouting ahead,
Are all of you moving stealthily?
Yes.
trying
Okay.
to. Oh, trying to. I
So
guess. Yeah.
let's get a group stealth check. I don't believe anyone has any disadvantage on stealths, do they? No heavy armors.
Nope.
No heavy armor here.
All right, so everyone make a stealth check. Kara, since you're leading, I'll have you go ahead and make a perception check.
All right.
And so go ahead and make those rolls, and we'll see what those are.
18 for Toddy.
All right.
1 for Pantok.
Woo!
19.
You're just like clomping along.
19 plus 3, so 22 Jacina and natural 1 for Pantok. Which for Pantok is because natural 1 doesn't matter in ability checks. So it's 4.
18 stealth for Kara and for perception 15.
All right. So the way group checks work is it's a succeed fail, but as long as half of the group succeeds, the whole group succeeds. So you still don't know what the DC is because it depends on what's looking for you. But half of the group has made at least what was it, 18 and 19?
Jacina
18.
Jacina had she rolled a 19. She actually has like 23 or something.
Okay, and then Toddy, I saw a 16. I don't remember the actual result. What was the total?
18. 18 total.
Okay, and Kara was also 18. So there's nothing below an 18. So 18 is kind of where you're at. So you continue walking through the forest. Kara's keeping an eye out for. What I'll ask each of you. Kara, what are you keeping an eye out for as you travel?
Any signs of like movement or any sort of noise that isn't particularly natural, like footsteps, etc.
Okay, so keeping an eye out for danger or ambushes. What is
Yes.
Justina looking for? She's next in line.
She's looking for Fae. She does not want to encounter any Fae, and so she's trying to keep an eye out for him.
Okay. Is anyone else looking for anything other than enemies or the flowers? Like you said,
Oh.
everyone since that is kind of your goal, you're all kind of looking for that, but you expect that you'll come across them. It'll be obvious. It's not something you have to search for. It'll just come with time.
Then yeah, I was going to keep an eye out for anything dangerous. at
Oh,
all.
if we're all looking for danger, then Jacina can look at plants.
Okay, so Justina spends a little more time kind of looking through, peeking around for where good areas for plants growing might be.
Yeah.
I also oh, sorry, did I interrupt you?
And anything particular to the layout, like mushroom circles or anything Fae-ish, not necessarily enemy, but more like plants and terrain.
Got it. And then what were you saying, Kara?
Kara would also like to keep a watch for these things. Funny enough, I was actually gonna say fairy rings as well. Like you stole my idea. But Kara can do the same thing as well, so he will.
All right. So yeah, you're keeping an eye out for anything out of the ordinary. You're not like So basically, what I would be getting at is, are you specifically like watching the ground, looking for plants, or are you keeping an eye up in the trees, looking for someone who might ambush you from above? Are you
I
watching
am.
behind trees? Are you just
I would.
anything particular? It's all going to be the same perception check.
Yeah, I would like to kind of keep an eye out and look for anything suspicious, not just enemies, but like potential traps. Like tripwires and
Is anyone
logs and stuff.
keeping track of where you are in the forest?
Um.
Particularly.
Well, I mean,
No, what did you say? I think it cut out on me for a second.
Where
someone's
you are in the
yeah,
forest, like how
someone's
deep
like
you've gone.
someone's like mapping, like not mapping, but like tracking stuff. So actually, I guess that should be Jacina because I don't really looking for plants is not. We're here for a flower, so she can do the task of mapping. Pantalk will watch the up in the trees.
Okay. So Justine is kind of keeping track of where you guys are.
Yes, so she could do
So
survival rolls if you need.
so you continue walking through the forest, and as you slowly trudge through, there's not really any beaten paths, but there are some more wide open clearing areas you can kind of carefully walk through until you get to the next opening, and you're kind of carefully walking through. That faint music is always in the distance, like it's just completely not getting any louder or any quieter. It's just always there in the background. And you continue walking through the forest. And for the first 20 minutes, nothing happens. You've wandered around. You haven't seen anything or heard anything of any significance. Um, I'm assuming you're continuing to walk until something happens, so I will
Or until we
proceed.
find the flowers, which would be something happening.
Right. So you've gone 20 minutes, and you continue walking and looking for signs of anything. And as you're walking along, the trail ish that you're following kind of starts to take a slight downturn, and the path becomes a little bit muddy and clay instead of grass and trees, and it starts to head down slope. And you see that there's a stream ahead of you, and beside the stream there's kind of a flat muddy path that leads alongside a hill, and on the opposite side of the stream is a high like cliff almost of like it's like it just goes basically straight up, like this stream is cut through like a valley almost, not a mountain but just like one of those high areas. And the left side, which is the side that you guys are on, is kind of muddy. This path, not very. There's not like any track marks or anything. It looks like it's probably been washed away by the river several times, and it leads along forward. With this change in terrain, is there anything different you would like to do, Kara? I guess you'd be the first one to notice where the path leads down to.
Well, I do want to go down that path.
Okay. Are you going? You're going down the path, or are you?
Say that again? I didn't hear you the first time. I'm sorry.
Is that what you said? You said you're going down the path?
Yeah.
Okay. So you continue sneaking along forward. The closer you get to the stream, you realize that the moonlight kind of the canopy kind of opens up a little bit here where the stream is, where there's no plants growing, and this whole muddy trail along the stream is dim light. So the darkness of the forest has kind of opened up a little bit. Oh, sorry, I didn't mention that. It got a lot darker as the woods closed in.
Oh.
And yeah, actually, I started rolling dice. I kind of forgot that part. As you're continuing to travel through the woods, the trees, they don't close in. Not so much like, don't think Curse of Strahd. It's not like they're closing in and enveloping you. It's just that they're getting a lot closer together. The canopy's getting really thick, and soon the moonlight is pretty much entirely blocked out. So now you're kind of in the thick of the forest, and you all can see just fine. You've got torches and dark vision, but there's no more moonlight until you come to this area. And yeah, so muddy path leading down. Do you walk down the muddy slope towards the stream?
Yes.
Okay.
I will, I am just quickly investigating. I do want to go back on the path my party is going in a moment,
This is
but
the path. This is the way the path leads. Your party is going this way. You're just 60 feet
okay.
ahead of them.
Gotcha. I want to wait for them to catch up for a
Okay.
moment.
You wait for 12 seconds, and they catch up behind you.
What is it, Kara? Did you notice something?
Not particularly, it's just kind of strange that there's a sudden path here, but not really. It's just an intuition, you know? But, things about this forest are already suspicious, and I can feel it in my little kobold bone. But anyways, I'm
You
gonna
have
keep
you have
going on
begun
ahead, just
you have
farther this
begun.
time.
Sorry. Finish saying that. I'll add something to that.
Yep, I'm gonna go on ahead a little farther this time. Just letting you guys know.
Oh, I was gonna say that maybe we should stick together, but do you want us to wait
Okay.
here and you scout ahead and then maybe like come back and let us know how it went?
Or she doesn't come. They don't come back.
Well, I was saying I could just go on ahead and you guys are still following me. I'd prefer that, just in case. I don't want to be completely alone in the suspicious forest, even for just a little while. But
If I ever run a campaign, that's going to be the name of a forest, the Forest of Sus.
the forest is
There's literally a sus forest in Greyhawk. It's like 100 miles south of where you guys are.
Oh, cool.
I want to
That
go to
is so
Sus
awesome.
Forest. That's gonna be great. I would love to go Sus Forest one day.
Okay,
Anyways,
so how are we changing formation?
I'm just going to go like 120 feet ahead instead.
Okay, and then are you going to come back? Because we won't be able to see you, so are you going to go up and then come
Okay.
back and let us know? Or are we going to should we just wait until you get 120 feet ahead and then just stay that far behind you?
Yeah, wait until I get that far ahead and then you guys can stay behind.
And then like until you stop and we catch up with you, basically? Because you're talking about being 2 full rounds away from us in a forest full of strange fey magic.
And far enough ahead that it's going to be fairly dark. We're not going to be able to see
We
you.
will not be able to see you. We can hear you if you shout to us.
That doesn't do any good if the
Okay.
first thing they do is ram something down your throat.
And that's always the first thing they do,
Wow, I didn't even mean to make it like that.
in my experience.
Oh my god. Well, you know what? I changed my mind. I'll just keep going the way I was. It's
Okay,
too sus around here.
60 feet, we can still see you. You're like a dim silhouette on the edge of Jessina's vision.
Alright, good to know.
All right, so Kara is still traveling 60 feet ahead, but the party is sticking close. 60
Yep.
feet.
Yep.
Okay. You continue down this muddy path, your boots sinking into the mud the closer you get to the water. And this trail follows this stream. The stream is not very deep or quick, but it is slowly babbling over a smooth river bottom with rocks here and there. And after about 200 feet of following this hillside, you come to an area of the hillside which looks like the side of the hill has been scooped out. And kind of like undercut. And up ahead on that same side, you see holes into that hill, which are about 2 feet in diameter.
Ah, crap.
Like, like crawl into holes?
If you're 2 feet tall, or can
Kara,
crouch down 2 feet
you're
tall.
tiny.
Yes.
Go explore the holes.
All right. Oh man, I
Kara,
was
Kara,
trapped
Kara,
in
Kara
holes for a very
sees
long
those
time.
things up ahead.
Oh, you see them ahead. We don't know that they're there yet.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my bad.
I guess it would be 60 feet in front of you is the first hole, since you only have 60 feet of dim light vision. No. This area is dim light. You can see those.
I do want to go in the hole. I want to go. Ooh, hole
So
jump.
we're 60 feet behind you, and we don't know
Gonna be a-
anything. And but how I think by the time we see the holes, you're already going inside of them.
Yeah, it's just gonna basically be like you disappear. We get up there, we go, huh? Oh shit!
Okay, wait. Then I'll wait for you guys again. But this
I
time with
mean, if
something
you
more
want to
important.
do it, that's fine. I'm just
I do want to do it. I just
Okay,
want to
so
make sure you guys know I'm going to do that.
so when we catch up, Justina says, "What is it, Kara? Did you notice something?"
Actually, this time, yes. Holes in the ground.
Oh, you're a kobold. You love
freaking-
crawling in warrens.
Hey, don't assume that. Don't just assume that.
Am I wrong?
No, but
Okay.
okay.
Well, you lead the way. Do you want us to follow after you, or do you want to go in and let us know?
I want to go and let you guys know.
Okay, we'll be
Who
right.
knows? Maybe there's more kobolds down here.
We'll be right here at the entrance. Just holler if you need us.
Okay. I'm
after
going
they
to
start to go
crawl
in.
into a hole.
Sorry. Yes, as soon as they do that, I say, still within earshot. So what do you guys think we're gonna do when we need to pick up another party member? What should we get? A warrior, a paladin?
Oh my god.
When we look for a replacement, what priorities do you want?
I roll my eyes as I'm digging. My god.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kara. Just joking. There's no replacing you, guys. Seriously though.
So there's no digging involved. It's a nice, wide, carved open 2-foot diameter circle of a hole that digs straight into the wall of the thing. So you go into the mystery hole and just start. You're totally squeezed. You're like you're short, but you're like crouched on your knees, dragging through the mud. Scrape it along in this mystery hole. Just draw the mystery hole here. Tabletop Simulator. No, this isn't you guys. This is that one guy from TMS Tavern. Tabletop Simulator doesn't allow you to make maps on the fly. Oh, it's so bad because I have to I like to animate things in my computer and then blah 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 blah. And Tabletop Simulator doesn't let you do any of that. That's what that guy sounds like.
TMS Tavern is a fascist hellhole. The Facebook group.
And yet, right now, I want to post a picture of my character and make an assumptions reference.
You should, and then after you get a bunch of responses, then post my meme making fun of the admin.
Oh shit! I don't think I saved your Earth Elemental.
You just want.
He's somewhere, but
You just want me to get banned too, don't you?
you'll probably need him later, but we'll leave it for now.
You won't get banned. They'll just mute you for a day because they're pussies.
So far, I have been banned from like Mandela Effect channels, exposing the Rothschilds groups, a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, I told Jake, I said, I think because I got muted in that group, I went to comment in a different group, and it immediately showed me that group's rules before it allowed me to comment. And I said, I think that happened because I got muted in that one group. And then Jay goes, "Oh yeah, probably, because that happens to me all the time."
Okay, that's hilarious. Because yeah, no, I never ever end up getting muted. I just end up getting straight up just kicked out. Apparently, I know how to push them just right so that they don't want to mute me. They don't want me to stop talking until they want me to stop talking forever.
All right, so this is kind of where the hill is carved out. Up on top of it, there's grass and trees and things like that. But this thing is carved out, so the shape of it is kind of like this.
The map is white
From-
to me. Is it supposed to be white?
Fuck.
Whoa.
Still white. Still
Wait,
white.
wait. No, never mind. There's a toggle. That one.
Oh,
There
cool.
we go.
I'm sitting there drawing this map the whole time, and I'm like, oh shit, did I just waste all that time? That was what I was saying the guy was complaining about. I'm sitting here drawing this map in real time. So this thing over here on the side, this is just this is not part of the map. This down here is the path where you guys are walking, and then this is kind of the concave shape of the hillside. You know what I mean? Justina, make a nature check.
Nature check. Nature check. There's my die for the nature check. There's my die for the check. Whee! All right, 14 plus nature is plus 3, so that's going to be a 17.
So basically, based on the location of the stream and the way this hill is kind of carved out, it looks almost like this would have been an area that a mudslide happened. Like the hill wasn't very well supported, the water eroded away at it until chunks of it fell off, and that's why it's kind of this curvy shape where there's stuff up above where it was held together, but down here is where all this loamy soil got washed out. You're not sure what the holes might be, but you don't believe they're part of the natural terrain. There's probably something inside of them if they're active. So anyway, Kara's climbing into one.
I pass
so
on the info about the mudslide.
All right. And Kara, you can move your token. As far as the black line is, that's the tunnel. You slog your way through this tunnel. You're on your hands and knees, and you're like doing an army crawl through this muddy dirt. And it's just getting darker and darker as you go in, and it turns to the right. And you see it continues on and then turns to the left. And then it turns to the left more.
Pantok's gonna spend the next 10 minutes casting Detect Magic as a ritual, unless something happens in those 10 minutes.
Okay. It's been about 6 seconds since Kara's entered the tunnel.
Okay. That shows
Oh,
his
if
fate.
only you had done that before they entered the tunnel.
I mean, it's not a big deal to stop the ritual. I don't lose anything. And plus, I've got my invisible servant here, so he can still do stuff for me.
What's the worst that could happen? Us losing a Kara.
As
You
you
don't
get
want
to
to
about
lose a
this point,
car.
as you get to this point, you see that the tunnel kind of opens up into sort of a wide, shallow, still the same height, but kind of an open area with other tunnels leading out of
Oh.
it. And in the center of the tunnel, there are little piles of fur.
Oh, no.
You see 3 creatures asleep in the dirt. So how about that stealth check? Go ahead and make a stealth check to see how quietly you are moving on your entrance.
Alright. Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
No.
I didn't see that. What was it?
10.
A 10. Okay. Let's see.
I rolled a 2.
You rolled a 10 or a 10 total?
Yeah, 10 total. I rolled a 2, and I am stealthy, but I'm not very stealthy right now.
Right? As you're slogging through and you're grunting and groaning and hold 1 second. Ah. Make a nature check.
Okay. Nine.
All right. With a 9, you're not sure what these creatures are. Let me change their
Oh,
names.
no.
But there are 3 of them, and they looked like they were sleeping, but they were not in fact sleeping.
Oh no, are they that big?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I
Yeah.
mean, you're not very big. But
Uh-oh.
as you enter their chamber, they all stand up, covered in mud, and look at you and make angry, growling, and chittering noises. Why don't you go ahead and roll initiative?
Oh no.
Pantak's out there casting his ritual. Justina's kind of like picking at her fingernails with a piece of wood. She-
Kara screeches. You hear a That's exactly what you
loud enough to alert everything in all the tunnels.
hear. Well, I'm pretty
So
sure this
much for that
initiative
2 stealth roll.
literally. Well,
What's your initiative?
14.
All right, so you act first as they stand up and turn around and growl at you. They've got patchy fur on their eyes, and their teeth look big, yellow, and angry. And they start to stand up and walk towards you, making hissing noises and growling, warning sounds.
They are not going to attack me. I am going to start backing off.
You go first. You won initiative, but they look like they are moving towards you angrily.
I'm backing off. I'm backing off.
All right,
If-
so you can move. Your speed is halved, I believe, when you're squeezing. We haven't used squeezing rules very often. Let me just check real quick. Maybe not.
Ruler, where's my ruler?
1 extra foot for every foot it moves. So yes. So you can move. What's your speed?
30.
25. What?
Wait, let me see. 30 feet.
30. You have 30 feet speed? Oh, I thought you were
Yeah.
less. Okay. So you can move 15 feet, and you're gonna have to move like following the tunnel, of course. So probably I would measure it from point to point and just add up to 15. So here would be 10 feet, and then 5 more feet would be here. So this
Okay.
this quarter of the square right here.
Can I do the crawling equivalent of dashing?
You certainly can. You can take your action and dash, which would be another 15.
Yes.
Which would be 10 to here, and 5 more to here.
And that's where I'd like to go. That's
Right. And
as I approach the entrance, I go, guys, there's a thing in here. There's thingies in here.
yeah, you guys hear the squealing sound and then shuffling noises.
Whoa!
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
Not really. Well, I guess I'll go in first, and Justina drops her torch by the side of the hole and grabs her scimitar and begins crawling into the hole.
Your torch lands in the mud face down and sizzles as it singes and the flame goes out.
Oh well, and I go. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was
You
going to say
confirm-
we could wait until they're all about to exit, and then they're in a nice line, and then I just caustic brew them. But you know,
Go ahead and roll initiative before you act in combat,
Oh, okay.
and then we are going to proceed to the next round. And if you are higher than Kara in initiative, then you can move.
All right, Justina is 22.
Okay.
Pantok is 14.
Okay. And Toddy, you're also rolling initiative, whether you choose to engage in combat or not.
Oh, sorry, I didn't
No,
realize.
you're
Hold on.
just since there's combat. I mean, you don't have to participate, but since we're acting in initiative.
Oh, I plan on participating. 12.
Okay, and mostly that is because the NPCs, it's basically side initiative. You guys can all act together since we're doing that thing.
Well, it just sucks that the tunnel is blocked by a teammate,
By the time it comes back around to the next turn of your party, Kara, there's no creatures visible behind you from where you can see.
Oh my god. I am
And now
still
your
going
party's turn.
to. Okay. The funny fuzzy creature, angry fuzzy creature.
Wait, whose turn is it? Where's the initiative track?
You guys are.
Party's turn.
Oh, that's right, because we're in order, so we all go.
There's only two groups and they're equal sides.
Okay,
Is Kara actually out of the tunnel yet?
No.
Justina is standing here at the edge of the tunnel, and she says, "Kara, are you okay? Should we come in, or are you coming out?"
I'm coming out!
All right, well, hurry up.
There's very angry fuzzy creatures here.
Pantok's gonna stand back a ways. Come on.
I would like to get myself lined up to the tunnel entrance. And, yeah, I'm going to wait. I'm not going to actually prepare an action. I want to wait until I see these things before I decide what to do.
All right. Oh, so are you preparing an action or not?
No, I'm not preparing an action because I want to actually see what these things look like and decide whether or not I want to spray them with my caustic brew.
Okay.
Waiting for Kara to come out of the tunnel.
Yes, I am coming out.
So
They'll be coming out the tunnel when they come.
With your 15 feet of movement, you reach the end of the tunnel and exit the tunnel with no movement left. For your movement only, you still had your action.
Justina readies her scimitar to slash the next thing that comes out of the hole if it looks like it needs slashing.
I'm going to turn and basically like puppy guard the entrance.
Try and keep
and
your
if I
characters on the grid if you
see
can.
any sort of movement, I'm going to attack.
Okay.
Are you blocking the entrance? Like, are you standing right in front of it so they have to pass through you?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Guess we're going to get that new party member after all.
Man.
She can tank.
I'm just trying to protect you guys. Yeah, I can.
Yeah, but if you move out the way and they're in a line, I can hit them all with my caustic brew. Assuming they're not like about to invite us to a tea party or something.
What's your armor class?
Mine?
Yeah.
Let me see. 15. Oh, damn.
The other three of us are, I think, 16. Is Toddy 16? No, 15.
No, I'm 14.
14? Okay, so Justina has a shield, and she's got 10 hit points and 16 armor class.
Well, that doesn't sound like a druid to me.
So she's kind of the tank if you want to... So Toddy's ready to blast an area of effect that would damage you if you're in the line. And Justina is kind of a better tank. And if you stand in the front of the tunnel, then they're all going to attack you, and we cannot hit them. So you might as well just stayed in the tunnel. you could run back and ready an action to sneak attack them with your short bow when they come out of the tunnel.
Yeah, like
Sounds
stand
like
to
a
the
better
side of the
idea.
tunnel or something, like stand off to the side.
Yeah, we're all
Yeah.
ranged
Oh,
characters, so
scoot over here and use my action to dash and prepare an action for if anything pops out. I will shoot at them and I am going to also get down low and try to be sneaky about
Are you hiding
yes.
with your action?
Oh,
Or
I
ready an
already
attack?
I'm readying an action to it.
Okay, so you're preparing to be sneaky, but you're not
Yes.
actually doing any sort of sneakiness.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh,
And what's the earth elemental doing?
oh yeah, he's here. So I'm gonna have him up near the entrance so that he can attack them as they come out, but off to the side so that it won't block Toddy's caustic brew.
Okay.
You might want to back up a little bit, Toddy, because this is a tunnel, so you can't really see down into it. Well, I don't know. I mean, like, I'm just thinking of, do you really want to be like just 10 feet away?
It has a short range. It's 30-foot range, so I don't want to be too far away
So
because
you
they're going
can.
to come pouring out of that tunnel. I kind of want to hit them when they're still like not able to move out of the way. I don't know.
Your burst doesn't follow the winding of the tunnel, and this is 30 feet right here. You could stand where Pantok is and still reach all the way down the tunnel.
Okay, if that's okay, I'm going to move back here then.
I'm gonna leave Jacina a little bit up like this, but farther back than her elemental. I want to make sure that they attack her before the squishies in the back.
Okay, and remind me who all had what actions ready. Jacina.
She's not readying an action now because she's not standing at the tunnel entrance.
Okay, Kara.
Well, no, that's stupid. I ready fireball, but I reserve the right to decide at the last minute if it's like a cute little gnome child that I don't blast it in the
Wait,
face.
Okay,
you
so-
can choose not to take your readied action when you take the thing.
Yep, I'm ready.
Oh, okay, then I
frostbolt.
totally am going to ready caustic brew.
If you ready a leveled spell, you cast it, and if you don't use it on the
Yeah, you
next
use the
turn, the
slot.
spell slot's consumed. You do that
Okay,
with
then no, I do
cantrips
not
or
ready.
attacks.
Sorry, my bad.
It's okay.
So actually, both of my guys can ready. So Jacina readies frostbite, and Pantok readies firebolt.
Okay. And does
Yeah, I don't think I've ever readied a spell before. I think that was my first time. I've always done like an attack or something.
And the earth
it can
elemental
be
readies
useful. You just
slam.
have to be careful. Okay. You use a bonus action on Pantok to command the earth elemental to ready slam. And was Toddy going to ready anything?
Nope.
Okay, and is Kara going to ready anything?
If I see anything come out of the tunnel, I am going to shoot it.
Okay, so you draw your short bow covered in mud and pull back an arrow and hold it ready to fire at the first creature that comes out of the tunnel, if you choose to do so.
Yes.
And you wait a few more moments, and nothing happens. And then, from behind you,
Ha!
an angry creature emerges from the burrow, covered in mud and dirt, and so does one over here. And it bursts out angry. All the other characters who have not previously seen these, you can make nature checks.
You better make a good nature check,
Pantok.
guys.
Pantok is 10.
Okay.
Ah,
Okay.
Jacina's 4.
21.
21.
Nice.
Okay.
For
So all of you kind of recognize the basic shape of these creatures, but Toddy specifically recognizes a little bit more about them. In fact, you just read about them recently in Pantok's Book of Lore.
Oh, there you go.
They are badgers of some kind. And these ones specifically are about 4 times the size of a normal badger. which
Badgers of unusual size? I don't believe they exist.
there is a creature called a giant badger. These seem like they don't really have the proportions and the shape and the size of an actual giant badger. They just seem like very large badgers. But they definitely the distinction is not made when they're angry and seething in your face.
And it's just the two of them, right?
You currently see two of them
Right.
emerge from their burrows.
I yell out to the group, they're badgers. They're not quite giant badgers, but they're badgers.
And to the rest of the party who doesn't know what the difference is, they definitely look like giant badgers.
They look pretty giant to me.
Which, I recognize them because they remind me of my ex.
Justina says, wait, maybe I can speak with them. Maybe we can make a deal with them and we don't have to kill them.
You better make that decision before you take your readied action, because now is the time to take your readied actions if you choose to do so.
Son of a bitch. Okay, well, what do you guys want? Because Justina, we all go at the same time. So before we do any attack, Justina could cast Speak with Animals, and she could talk to these badgers, or we exterminate them. We have to decide. Am I on mute?
No.
Hello? Is my mic working?
That is now, if it wasn't before.
Okay, it wasn't before. Sorry.
Do I know anything about the intelligence of not quite giant badgers?
Based on what you think they are, you think they're just as intelligent as any regular creature, and the behavior they're exhibiting seems to be that of territorial defending of their den, which was just invaded by a kobold.
Unless anybody's going to burn a spell slot, I say let's try and reason with them first.
Well,
that's just my vote.
It burns a spell slot for me to speak with animals. That's
fuck that. Let's burn them.
Okay, that seems easier. I mean, they're just animals, and we can eat their meat
and harvest their pelts for loincloths.
Yeah,
and whatever
badger
else
meat.
you.
We're gonna find babies in there, and it's gonna be sad. Okay, that's okay.
Why would that be sad? They have the tenderest of meat.
Yeah, loafer fur.
I want to make dice from their bones.
Justina says,
"Oh,
I approve."
Will's like, that got dark fast. That's only because Will doesn't know my joke about Travis Willingham.
Okay, Justina and Pantok unleash fire and ice on this badger that just emerged from this tunnel, and the Earth Elemental is going to use his slam attack.
All right, do all those things, and Kara, you can make your short bow attack.
Do Kara first.
Okay, everyone roll your attacks, because I mean you're gonna lose your attacks this round anyway if you don't. So.
And then do I go after them or whatever because they readied actions?
You didn't ready an action, so currently it's still the badger's turn, and they're going as soon as the badger emerges from the den. So it's not your turns yet. This is still
wait.
23 for that short bow attack.
All right, that hits. Roll damage, and
nice.
you do not get, or you do get sneak attack because it is an ally adjacent.
Woohoo!
And do we have Justina and Pantok's rolls yet?
Okay, I'll do Pantok's roll for Firebolt. 17 plus... I should have this memorized. Plus 5, so 22 to hit.
That hits.
That is 9 damage from me. You go ahead.
All right. And Pantok?
Pantok's damage is... Where's my dice? Okay, I think this is a D10, right?
Where are you?
On the water.
No, where? Oh, yeah, that's a D10.
Okay, damage for Pantok's Firebolt. 7. That's the number it was on, but it spun a lot, so... Okay, so
right.
blast it for 7 fire damage.
All right. As the badger bursts through from its burrow with an angry look on its face, and it stands up and starts chattering at you and stomping its front legs, and you immediately unleash a barrage of arrows and fireballs, and as both hit simultaneously in a blast of flame and splintering wood, the badger falls over dead before Jessina can even finish casting her spell, and it goes and
Nice.
dies. And the other one sees this happen and chuffs forward at Kara,
Oh,
who it attempts to bite.
I'm gonna get rabies.
I don't think badgers carry rabies. Maybe they do. And it
If they're a mammal, they can.
12 to hit.
That does not.
All right, it misses you with its bite attack, and another badger emerges from this den over here. And it is now the party's turn.
Jessina expends a spell slot to cast Speak with Animals, and she says to the badgers, oh crap, I changed the wrong cell.
But my badger meat.
She says, we killed one. She says, be gone. We kill your ally. This our territory now. You find other mudslide. If you don't leave, we bite you. And then she waves her sword in the air and says, this is my tooth. I will bite you with my claw. I will scratch
Make
you
an
with my
intimidation check.
tooth claw. Whatever is appropriate. I'm speaking to Badger. I'm pretty sure I go quick, 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 quick.
Squeaker, squeaky, squeakerson.
Intimidation. Ah, fuck. God damn it.
The badger that attempted to bite Kara squeaks at you quickly and angrily and says, Arden, you leave, we kill.
Justina says,
Technically, we killed.
Justina says, okay, then it's chopping time. I'll give you one more chance. I'll give your friend a chance to flee after we eat you.
It chooses not to reply to you.
I want the other friend to see because I'm hoping I get another intimidation check. Possibly with advantage after it watches me murder its buddy.
Yeah.
By the way, it lasts
probably a good.
it lasts for 10 minutes. By the way, so basically the duration of the battle plus a few minutes, so 10 minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
With animals.
All right. Anything else on your turn, or is anyone else doing anything on their turns?
Oh, that's Jessina. So Pantoc's gonna lob a firebolt at the other guy. It's the next turn, right?
Yeah. At the other one, you said.
Yep.
Yeah, whatever it's my turn, then I'm going to toll the dead.
I'm zapping that one right there.
Oh, the close one.
Yeah, the close one. And for Pantoc, Firebolt, that's 21.
Okay, that hits. Roll damage.
3 fire
Alright.
damage.
3 fire damage to that one. Okay.
Yeah, you could have just asked it where the flowers were.
He's still
Man.
dead.
Oh, hey, Badger, we're here for the flowers. If you know where they are, then maybe we can leave your den.
What flowers? You leave, we kill.
Okay. Have it your way. Chop, chop, chop. And she
Who was
waves her
next?
scimitar again.
Who's next? You said Toll the Dead?
Yep, but I can only toll the dead on that
You
one.
can-
I can't.
You can do it on either one, but it'll deal more damage to that one.
Well, I was just say I think the other one's too far out of range. I think.
Please
long's
do
total?
attack this one. He's in front of my face and it's intimidating me.
Yeah.
Let me look
it's
up and
60
see what the range is.
Okay, yeah, that one's too far, so
60 feet. That's what I was thinking. I thought it was 60 feet, so that
Okay.
would be too far.
and is that a saving throw or what is that?
It's a 14 wisdom saving throw.
Alright. Natural 1. Roll damage.
Rip.
Wow, holy shit. Has it already taken damage? It's already taken
Yes,
damage.
this one has.
So roll that D12 for damage. I love Toll the Dead. It's actually, we're kind of like comboed too. Oh, hey. Oh, no, never mind. I didn't do that spell, right?
What spell?
Frostbite. Justina, never cast it.
Oh, no,
Because
yeah.
you died. It has an effect, but I just realized that one's
Yeah.
dead, so.
6 damage.
All right, noted. Takes 6 damage, and looks like you blasted in the face with fire, and then tolling of the dead, and it is how much damage?
That was
6?
6 damage. God damn it, I keep rolling Nick's dice. Sorry.
I'm just rolling whichever ones are closest. All right, it takes some damage, and it looks like it is not well off. And next would be Kara and the Earth Elemental.
Oh, the Earth Elemental is gonna slam. Do you wanna? Does that help you if the Earth Elemental? Yeah, because he'll be adjacent, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let him.
Yeah, that helps.
So let him go first, and then that way you get that. Okay, so Earth Elemental slam.
That
Oh,
hits.
nice. 18. Hold on, I gotta pull up his. I forgot to have his sheet, and I don't have his damage memorized.
Oh, I had it pulled up. Earth Elemental. He
I
is
should
going to
have it
be
anyway. I just forgot.
yeah. He's going to be 1d6 plus 2 plus your proficiency. So 1d6 plus 4. That's a lot.
Oh boy.
Ooh, wow. 1d6 plus 4 damage. Nice. Spin 3, so 7 damage. What the
What?
That's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I think that's your bonus action.
Oh, yeah, that uses up his bonus action. I wasn't going to do anything else with it, though, so that's fine.
Yeah.
That's kind of what Pantok's bonus action is for.
Let's see. Let me just make sure that's how it's supposed to be. Yeah, that's the Beastmaster. Beastmaster is 1d8 plus 2 plus proficiency bonus. That's Beast. I'm going to make a Beastmaster Ranger.
Wow.
Whoa.
All right, so you used your Earth Elemental slams this thing as chunks of rock fly off of its body, and it's in its element, and the badger squeaks as you crush the middle section of its body, and it rolls over dead. And Kara is next, and there's only one other one alive right now.
Oops, I didn't mean to move Kara. I want to shoot at the last little badger. No, not little badger, big badger. I just am so used to calling big things little. But anyways, I want to attack him with my short bow, and I also get sneak attack on that because of my ally next to me. I
That's
high
the
five the
enemy.
Earth Elemental. Wait.
This one doesn't have anything next to it.
Oh, right. Okay, then I won't get sneak attack this time, but I'll still be able to go and hit.
1 second.
And that's 18 to hit.
All right, that hits. Roll damage.
Nice. Whoa, 9 damage.
Oh, it
Alright.
dead.
Holy crap. That's a lot of damage.
All right, you blast it in the face. An arrow sticks into its shoulder, into its arm, and it goes squeal. And as you hit it, it's still alive. Was there anyone else going or moving?
Justina shouts at it and says, "Now we stick you with pokey stick. This your last chance. Leave now, find other den, or we eat you with your brothers."
And I want to move closer to the other one. I think that's the distance I can move.
That's about right. All right. It is the badger's turn, and even before you started speaking to it, it started to run away. And it squeals and starts to hobble towards the water, and it kind of splashes into the water as it's kind of hobbling and trying to move in a straight line and running along.
Jacina shouts to it as it runs away and says, Badger, if you leave, we will take Pokey Stick out and help you.
It's not stopping.
Just giving it a chance. Just so this is more for her conscience. It's she doesn't really care. It's
you
just like,
you come across the den of a wild animal, crawl into it, and then murder them as they come out and say, "But wait, we'll take the arrow out if you come back."
That sounds exactly like the bill that Republicans passed in Alaska for hunting bears.
Yeah. Oh God.
Like,
Yeah. Don't even get into that.
literally.
All right, so that one is pretty much gone unless you're attempting to physically chase it.
Nope.
It's hobbling off down the riverbank.
It's gonna die anyway, a really horrible injured death.
Oh,
but that's its choice. That's the way of the wild.
And combat is over for now. What would you like to continue doing?
I guess we should probably finish searching.
badgers.
Yeah, we should probably finish searching the den.
Yeah,
Otherwise, we murdered them for no reason.
Pantok would be
And,
cool with that. Jacina would not.
And then we also need to harvest the
Let's
the dead.
let's do that
I
before
want
we
to
go in.
skin the badger.
All right, do either of you have skinning tools?
Man.
I really
Okay.
think you
Oh,
probably
God
need them,
damn
right?
it.
I don't think like a rapier or whatever is gonna work.
Well, a
If
dagger could work.
Yeah, if you
But
got
I
like
have a
daggers and
rapier.
knives, you can hack them up, but you're probably
Hold
not
on,
going
hold
to
on.
have a very good chance to succeed.
I have 2 daggers, but yeah, you're probably right.
Guess I'm gonna add that a skinning kit and a butchering kit to our list of things to buy.
Probably a good idea.
Pantok?
If that's a physical list, please add that.
Yeah, I have an actual list over here.
Write it.
I have to figure out about brewing kits and ingredients: a pearl, lantern, now butchering kit, water skins.
It's just bye. But anyway.
Do I need to buy a meat smoking kit too? That was a serious question. I know I said it sarcastically, but I was being serious.
I don't think there's any particular kit that comes for meat smoking. You could get like cooking pots and
preserving.
things like that.
Well, for preserving the meat,
By salt.
adding salt to the list.
I mean, yeah, you could. I'm sure the blacksmith. You could. You wouldn't even need the black. Well, maybe, but yeah, you could just buy like a smoking box, buy some wood, and totally do that. We'd have to find a place to do it.
Smoking doesn't really require. I mean, in modern day, we buy equipment for it to make it easier, but in the wild, you kind of just set up a campfire and build a
Yeah,
stick,
yeah,
a
you
stick
can.
lean of it.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can literally
back.
just hang the meat over the fire,
Yeah.
and if you have it far, and then you put out the flames, or you keep it smoldering. You just stoke the fire really low and keep it smoldering, so there's more smoke and it'll dry out.
Pemmican, the
Yeah,
food
cut
of
it
my
in strips.
people.
Yeah.
But the problem is we can't get the meat off. Pantuck does have 2 small knives, but they're literally like scholars, like paper knives. So even though they are it's more like X-Acto knives. So he doesn't really want you guys digging into guts of badgers with that.
You can attempt to hack into them with a dagger. It would just be like carving up a turkey with a butcher knife, where it's not really the tool that's made to do that.
No, it'd be like carving up a turkey with a dagger, with a hunting,
Okay, yeah,
with like
but-
a hunting knife.
Yeah, you're using the wrong knife for the wrong job, but it's still
a
a knife.
military like survival knife, and you're using it to carve a turkey.
Yeah, but it
Yeah.
still cuts, so you can still try to. What would you like to try and harvest from them? And who is doing the harvesting, and what are you using?
I'll let Kara, because we don't have any. My guys don't have any daggers, so.
I have 2 daggers, and I will slice off the skin as best I can and harvest its meat and bone.
Okay, make a survival check. With
By the way-
disadvantage for the wrong tools.
Gotcha. I'm totally nonchalant about doing that.
Oh yeah, I mean it's normal,
Yeah.
especially for a kobold. Kind of savages.
Oh, especially. Hey, that's racist!
I mean,
Yeah, can the kobold
prove
just
me
use its
wrong.
teeth? Yeah, can't it just rip into it with its claws and its teeth? Can we fashion little carving knives out of the badger's teeth and claws and use that on
13.
it?
13. Okay. That's with disadvantage.
Yep.
Okay. You're able to kind of carve the skin off in mostly a one chunk. It probably would be more for like patchwork than for like hide leather. Um, but you have part of a badger hide, and then you said you also want to butcher the meat. You can pretty much butcher the meat. That's not very difficult. And there's a stream next to you, so you can wash off the offal.
The awful.
And you can gather some badger meat. So if you want to try and did you want to try and butcher the other one also?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and do that, and then we'll determine how much of each you get. So another disadvantage survival check for the skin, and the meat is pretty much you can't really screw up butchering meat unless you're butchering like fugu or something. It's just how much usable
Oh
meat you
wow.
get.
I got it. Okay. Funny enough, I got a natural 20 on my first one, and then the second roll was 15, but total 16. So
Okay. Let's see.
when I'm doing this, I kind of idly chat and say, you know, back in the day, one of my close friends showed me how to kill these things. Not these creatures specifically, but big mammals as such. And we would gather the meat and eat it at the campfire. It was a nice time.
Yeah, nostalgia, isn't it? So nostalgic.
Ah, yeah.
All right. As you carve up the badger's body, you carve off the hind legs, which are pretty big and chunky. That's where really the majority of the meat is. If there's any other body part specifically you want to take, otherwise it's pretty much the legs. I don't think animals like that have like breast meat. I think that's mostly just chickens. It's pretty much like legs, hindquarters. You
Yeah.
gather miscellaneous, doesn't really matter. We're not getting into those details. You gather 50 pounds of raw badger meat.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god. I can't carry all that. I
Too
need
much?
to distribute. Of course. I need to
I think
distribute
that's more than Kara weighs.
Exactly.
Well, I googled it, and on a pig, that is a pig that weighs 250 pounds yields like 180 pounds of meat. And that's a pig, and they're pretty fatty, so I figured like a third of that.
Well,
Also, it's 2 badgers, so each one only gave you about 25 pounds.
Okay, but still, that's a lot of meat. We are going to eat well tonight.
Well, it's also raw, so if you don't preserve it pretty quickly, it's not going to last very long.
We have well until the morning before we got to cook it, or
I mean, hunting is. Have you ever played Terra Firmacraft or like what do you call it?
No, what the hell's Terra Firma? Is that the
Minecraft.
game that Minecraft ripped off?
Hardcore Minecraft.
It's a mod.
Minecraft.
Minecraft.
Or Oregon Trail. Like hunting gives you shit tons of meat. Like there's a
I
reason
grew up on
that
a farm. I've slaughtered animals. I've also had a deer carcass hanging out in the backyard for a good 24 to 36 hours before we decided to skin it and then get around to feeding the meat to the dogs.
Oh darn! You could have done that. You could have carried the carcasses around, and that probably would have kept them fresh for a little bit longer. But
yeah, it does. It adds a little bit.
But yeah, I mean, you get a shit ton of meat, but then the problem is preserving that meat. Like you could just hunt every day and eat, but then you're going to be killing an animal every day, and that's not very sustainable. Just difficulty wise, you might not always be successful in the hunt. So
we just didn't want this to go to waste since we had to kill it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like that's totally reasonable, but that's not going to sustain. You can't write down 50 pounds of badger meat and then just tick off 2 pounds every day. You're not unless you're sitting there eating raw, rotting badger meat.
What is this? The Oregon Trail?
And then let's see how much surface area. Why do I have to Google things like this? And why am I Googling specifically badgers? Okay, the skin is very rubbery and it's about a 1/4 inch thick. And I don't know. I'm just trying to look up square footage. Okay, if the badger is like, how big does it look on there? Like 4 feet long? So 4 feet.
Somewhat.
And then square feet, probably say like 8 feet each. 8 square feet. Is that about right?
Sounds about right.
Dude,
to
I
me.
don't know. My
Say-
brain stopped working.
So let's say 6. You get 6 square feet of raw badger hide and 50 pounds of meat.
You guys, this meat is way too heavy. I can barely carry it all. Please,
Well,
please help me.
After we search the den, there might be some baby badgers in there. We can leave some of it for them to feed off of and give them a chance of surviving.
Dark.
Oh, dark,
Ah,
but
I love
also
that
the way of
double
nature.
horse-fed meat for that, real horse flavor.
Justina says,
Futurama.
I've already foraged some food. I think I'm good. I don't need to haul around meat carcasses. But, I mean, I'll definitely help, like, if you want to set up a smoker situation later. And, yeah, but, yeah, I don't really want to haul any around.
Can you cut me off a tooth?
Me?
Yeah, like the best looking sharp claw or tooth.
Yeah, let's have matching ones. I
Okay,
would like to
cool.
cut off 2 teeth off the badger, and we can make necklaces of it later.
All right. The badger's teeth are kind of like, I think they're like rat teeth.
Ooh,
No, they got big old canines.
nice.
All right, you get 2 big sharp canine teeth that are about 1.5 inches long each.
By the way, out of the 50 pounds, I can only carry like 12 pounds, maybe.
You can
But
carry them, cut 'em.
I'm gonna just carry 10 because it's easy.
Okay.
I'll carry 5 pounds of meat too to cook up later or to feed the baby badgers or.
All right, you guys can write down however you want to distribute that meat and the skin and the teeth, and whenever you're done with that, you can proceed with whatever you would like to continue with.
Do you want me to carry the skins?
Yes.
It was 8 square feet of skin.
6 square feet of skin. The rest of it, there was more, but the rest of it was chopped up and unusable.
Selling skins. Skins is something that selling furs and skins. You can make some pretty good money from that. So
Yeah.
Okay, if you guys are done mucking around in dead bodies, who's going on the hole first? Kara, you want to lead the way?
Yes. Scooting the very, very, very dead badger away, I crawl back into the tunnel and scoot, 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 scoot.
All right, was everyone following Kara in?
Yep.
I
Toddy
kind
too?
of wait for you guys.
Yeah,
Thank
I'll
you.
go ahead and follow in too.
Okay, and is the Earth Elemental with Burrow also following?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yes.
we could have made the
Reminder.
tunnels like we could walk through.
Yes, and so he's going to be, like, basically in the dirt, like, hanging out right with me.
Okay, as your party gets down into the muddy dirt, your robes covered thick with this silty filth. You're pretty sure you've crawled through badger poop and PE2 like multiple
Yeah.
times.
Man,
You're just filthy disgusting.
Not even the
this-
first time.
This den has a couple of small little nests where it looks like they've gathered up brush and stuff. But as you try and search through it, there is nothing of value. It looks like just a normal old den. There's no babies or cubs or anything. It's just a sleeping hole.
Oh,
Nice, cool place to sleep.
That's good. That's
I want to look around for anything that might be of value, shiny jewelry, stuff that it might have stolen.
None of that stuff. Just a den.
I wanna lead and go see if there's anything down this path.
Oh yes, that path leads to here, and this path leads to here.
Okay. Once I kind of see, oh, it's just an entrance.
okay.
I'm gonna pop back out and go, whew, that was useless.
Okay, well, I mean, it's good we know this is here. We might need to hide out here or something like that.
Yeah, it's actually not a bad place to stay the night if we needed to.
Yeah.
Um,
If we get lost in the Feywild or something, it is actually night. We travel and then we waited all day until it was night. So, yeah, actually, we might end up long resting here.
Oh my god, we could have totally gone in while it was daytime, found the flowers, and then waited until night.
You can't find the flowers until night.
Oh,
That
I
was-
thought they
that
were
was-
only pickable at night.
No, that was kind of what he was emphasizing. I might have missed that nuance. They're pretty much impossible to find except at night when they bloom.
You
That's what
probably
I- that's
didn't
what I
miss the
thought.
nuance. I probably missed the
No,
nuance.
that was definitely something I thought about and specifically had thought, but then I probably just didn't mention it. He told you can only gather them at night, but I don't think he said you can only find them at night. But
Yeah,
yes,
see, that's
he
what I
made
was
that
thinking.
he made that clear though.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, guys, I guess let's not stick around too much longer. Now that we've wasted some time, let's keep looking for those flowers.
Okay.
Yes,
so
I agree.
we're gonna gather back to the path, and with Kara leading, and the same formation as before, we're gonna follow the path around like we were.
I hope we get experience for that.
Oh yeah, you do. It's just next time
I know.
once we get to a pause point. So you continue onward down the muddy trail, and the path twists and turns a little bit with the river. It goes maybe another couple 100 feet before looks like up ahead it kind of curves up back towards the forest area. But ahead of you see a badger. It's not one with an arrow sticking out of its head, and it's got a giant centipede wriggling in its mouth as it's walking towards you. And when it gets
Oh,
you, unless you specifically try and stay away from it as it walks towards you. But it's
yeah,
walking in your direction. It doesn't seem to notice you. With a wiggling centipede.
Oh, geez, there's another badger. I'm backing up. Mm-mm. I am getting out of there.
I'd hate to be that badger. It's in for a rude surprise when he gets home.
As it gets within about 60 feet of you, it notices you and stops, and it just kind of looks at you and hisses and stumps its front feet, tries to make like a display and try and kind of scare you off because you're right where it's walking. And these tunnels aren't here anymore. You guys are further down.
Wow, I pretend to act scared and scared off.
no,
I don't want to have to face the consequences of my actions.
Show it the bloody badger pelt that you ripped off of its kin.
Jesus Christ!
I think you're overestimating the ability of a badger to recognize a mutilated badger.
yeah.
Oh my god.
You do still have speak with animals, though. It hasn't been 10 minutes.
Oh yeah. Okay, so Jacina speaks out and says, "Watch
Sorry
out!"
about your fam.
And says, "Watch out! We mean you no harm. We are just passing by. But if you attack us, we will kill you like we killed the other badgers we saw. So pass us by and continue on, and we will not harm you."
It kind of looks confused that you can speak to it, and it mumbles something, but it's squeaking through its mouth, and you can't hear it because it's got a centipede in it. And it just kind of like backs up, and then walks into the river.
I feel like we may have seriously
waits for you to pass.
overestimated the fear factor of these badgers and how much we needed to worry about them. Just saying.
Well, there's only
Like that den of handicap goblins that we came across.
Tracks.
Okay, so we continue on past the badger.
It watches you warily as you pass, and then it continues onward, kind of a little bit quicker than it did before. All right, and the path, the trail leads back up into the woods, and you continue onward into the woods.
Woohoo!
Everyone can go ahead and get 50 experience for the
Yeah!
4 badgers you defeated.
Yeah, see? Not worthless. Totally worth our time. Badger den. Badgers.
And you re-enter the forest, newly covered in blood and mud.
Jake's like, you guys focus on all the wrong damn things. The fuck is wrong with you?
Jacina is 55 XP from level in 10 days.
Oh,
I'm 95
so-
XP from level.
I'm 75.
All right.
So excited to level
What's
up. now.
Pantalk at?
205. I think it's the same as Toddy.
Yeah.
Okay. I was making sure that I didn't miss something somewhere.
Wait, what is Kara at?
Huh? XP?
Yeah.
I am 75 XP away from leveling up. I'm so
You're
excited.
225.
Yes.
Sweet.
All right, so you continue into the woods, and Kara, you kind of noticed this before, but you didn't really. Oh shit, that drew on the other map. You didn't really think anything of it. It just kind of because it was so gradual. But the trees around you seem like they're towering, much taller than they had before.
I
And the plants and everything like that just feel like they're extra big. And now that you've also seen these giant badgers, it just kind of feels like everything is really big around you.
Whoa, look how tall these trees are. Am I just that short?
Tall tweez.
Tall tree.
Oh, guys,
I'm kind of like pointing it out in my own way.
I think we're
Like
like
I'm
shrunk
talking
or
audibly.
something. Remember those badgers that Toddy
Shrunk.
said were giant badgers? Like she said they weren't giant badgers, they were regular badgers, but they were really big. And now we're noticing like, look at that dandelion. And Justina walks over to the dandelion and how
There's a
far
giant dandelion.
how far does where does the dandelion go on her?
Waist height.
Look, this is not normal. Dandelions are not. That's like 3 feet tall. This is like sunflower situation.
Are we getting
Remember,
bigger?
Jaru said not
I
to
mean,
trust
small.
anything you see.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
This is probably it. Either is that big. We probably didn't shrink, otherwise we would have noticed, like in a different way. So it's probably either just actually things are bigger here, or it's just magical Feywild bullshit. That's my opinion. Oh, look at me! I'm the voice of reason. Blah.
Wait,
Wow.
so could those badgers have been like kids just playing in the woods? And I thought I was
No.
talking to them, and they're like, "Go away, we kill you!" And they were like, "Mommy, please, these people are hurting us."
Nah, there was no parents in that den, and we never came across any parent badgers.
That's
Those
the
were the
badger we
adults.
crossed. She was like, "I'm just going to pick up my children who are playing." Oh my god!
I went out to get them some fast food.
You get back to town after you leave the woods, and you look in your bag, and you've got just like.
Oh,
Baby
Oh
Pell.
my
Oh.
god.
That's weird. I thought these had a lot more hair on them than they did.
Oh no.
Human children's skin. Damn you, Faye.
I don't think I would do that. That's a little bit too much. That's a
He
really good
doesn't
idea. I'll write it
think
down
he
for
would.
later.
I'll remember when you guys go to the Feywild in Avernus too. Be real careful about skinning things that you find.
That was a meme somewhere. It was like you're fighting these villagers who are zombies, and you kill all the villagers, and then you cure the curse, and it turns out they weren't really zombies. They were just mind controlled or
Oh
something.
yeah.
But yeah, that's totally a thing though. So yeah, it's been about 40 minutes since you entered the forest, and it seems like things are bigger than they should be. Including these badgers. You exit the mud, you're covered in mud still, and you continue exploring, looking for these flowers.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
After about an hour total time exploring, including this combat, your unseen servant is no longer active.
Ah, bye. And I can't talk to animals anymore.
Yeah, animals
Yeah.
gone. You didn't come across any animals during that last 10 minutes. And let's see. The next 20 minutes, nothing eventful happens. And another 20 minutes pass. And as you're walking around a hill that had a bunch of like brush and stuff on it, you kind of had to walk around it. You look off into the distance and you see a field with specks of pink filling it.
Ooh. We need to get closer over there and see. There's those specks of pink look like they could be, hooded maidens.
He did tell you the flowers are pink. I don't think you asked or he told you, but yeah, he would have told you that. He would have
I think
described.
he mentioned that they were pink.
Oh,
I
plus-
remember that.
Plus, Kara is familiar with them.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Let's be wary as we approach, though. Make sure we don't, encounter any human children in random skins and stuff.
Yeah, it's a little area kind of off the way the path would go, but it's a little small enclosed clearing that's maybe 70 feet by 90 feet, something like that.
I get super excited and I kind of dash ahead of Kara towards them.
All right. Whoever is entering that area first sees a field of um, flowers with bell-shaped petals dangling from them, sparsely scattered throughout the field. And you are pretty sure, based on the description, that it's indeed a patch of hooded maiden flowers.
Guys, I think we found them.
Yay!
Let's get to harvesting.
Jacina takes off her backpack and pulls out her herbalist kit, and she unstraps the leather, unbuckles the leather straps and folds it open, and pulls out some tiny scissors and puts on some herbalist gloves and gets some little baggies or jars to contain the flowers.
Okay. Is everyone going to be harvesting flowers, or is anyone doing anything else during that time?
I want to
As long
harvest some
as-
flowers.
As long as Justina promises to harvest some extra for me so that I might, see how they taste or whatever, I would kind of like to keep a lookout.
Okay.
Who am I kidding? I want to pluck flowers.
Okay.
Who doesn't?
So everyone's plucking flowers then?
We're
Yeah.
all
No one's
remarried
gonna watch.
and so happy.
Okay,
My character's too excited about plucking maidens
Pan-
to.
Okay, fine. I'll be mature and be looking out. As long as you give me one flower.
Pantok's keeping lookout as well.
Okay.
Okay. So 2 of you are keeping lookout, the other 2 are gathering.
Yeah.
Okay. The 2 of you who are keeping lookout make perception checks. The 2 of you who are gathering make either, if you're proficient with your herbalism kit, you can just make a proficient check, wisdom check, and the other one straight wisdom check.
Okay, that 20 counts. I dragged it over and it moved slightly and it dropped on a 1 just from me dragging it. And then I'm like, no, that doesn't count. And then I roll and dropped on 20. So
Okay.
Sorry, it's a real 20.
Wow. I got
18 plus 2, 20.
And was that perception or?
Pantok is 24 perception.
Okay.
That was my wisdom
5.
plucking flowers roll.
Okay.
I got a 5, so like I'm freaking getting distracted by how pretty the flowers are.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're like almost picking. You're like looking for other flowers to pick and stuff.
What's the role for picking flowers?
What I thought was Pantok keeping watch.
Yeah, for Jacina
That's what
picking flowers. Are we doing that yet?
Jacina rolled. You got a natural 20.
Oh no, that was Pantok for perception.
For Jacina, it would be wisdom plus proficiency because you're using an herbalism kit.
Wisdom
And
plus
then-
proficiency. Okay, cool. So
and then what
Pantok
was
is
Toddy's?
Pantok's 20 perception, and then Jacina is wisdom.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. So that's plus 6, so 17 flower harvesting.
All right. And Toddy, what was your flower harvesting?
20.
All right. So as you spend some time picking flowers, Pantok, you see as your party is picking flowers, the scent drifts on the wind. They smell. I'm not going to describe the way they smell because I'd make too many jokes and it would take too long. But they smell very, very delightful. And as you're keeping watch and your party's picking flowers, you notice there happen to be some very large centipedes gathering around the grove, kind of looking in. But as they see you kind of walking by them, they kind of shy away from you. Like they're not like charging at you. They're just like looking up, and then when they see you walk by, they kind of duck back away.
All right, watch out, guys, because there's centipedes on the edge of this grove. Let's grab those flowers, and then when we get out of here, we need to take the shortest path, and we need to be like real tight sticking together.
All right, and with your gathering, as you pluck a bunch of flowers, you manage to get a total of 4 ounces of flowers.
Ah, sweet.
4 of your total 12.
Justina has 4 ounces.
How many did I get?
Total. That was all of you combined.
Oh, okay.
I would like to save just like 2 or 3 flowers, just a little bit from that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can see you still got a little ways to go with your flowers, so you can see how many you end up getting and whether you want to save some, or you might even be able to ask Jaru if you can have a couple of them.
Okay, so should we just like split them and just say 2 and 2?
However you want to carry them. You got 4 ounces of flowers.
Okay, so I'm saying 2 hooded maiden flowers, and then ounces.
Maybe I'll just let you carry them all, and I'll just eat one right now to try.
Okay, yeah, you can just eat one straight off the. You don't have to eat the ones we harvested. You could just eat it off the ground.
Yeah, you could eat
Can
one
I-
of the bruised ones that fell down. If that's all you want to do is taste it.
Well, for now, I mean, I might be like, I got to remember this in a month. I've got to come back and get more to brew an alcohol.
Yeah, definitely. Did you want to taste a fallen petal? Because you don't
Yes,
like the
I
number
do.
of flowers that are available. Not all of them are like mature enough to harvest. Not all of them, when you try to harvest them, stay together. So some of that stuff falls down. It's not suitable, but you could
Yeah.
you could do a little tasty taste.
Definitely, I do.
Oh.
You taste it, and it's got hints of description and flavor text and nuance, and it's very delicious. And it tastes like it would make probably a good anything. It'd be a good spice, a good beer. It's got notes of hoppiness and floral, and 11:30 at night, which
Okay.
coincidentally is the same time in the game.
Okay.
But yes, you think it would make a good XYZ.
Awesome. I'm going to have to remember this. I may want to make a lambic out of this later.
Yeah. I mean, keep that. That's not like a fake yeah, definitely. If that's something you want to do, he told you it also has magical properties. You could even make a brew that might have magic in
You see, and now I want to make my own brew in real life called the Hooded Maiden,
it.
with nothing but puns and jokes on the sides of it, you know.
I guarantee it's been done. There's no
Yeah.
way. All right, so you gathered some flowers, and are you going to continue exploring the forest? We'll end here soon. We'll wrap up, see if we can get to a stopping point.
So there is a flower called a maiden flower, which is also
Be right
called
back.
maiden pink. And I'm gonna send a link to the Discord. If we want to role play ideas of what it tastes like or whatever.
Okay, it doesn't look like that though. It looks like, let's see. It looks like this.
The link I sent, there's 10 different kinds
you
that
go.
look slightly different. Oh, okay.
What Jake linked is actually pretty similar to what I was picturing.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
From
that's
the
not
description.
They're bell flowers. Coral bells, I think, are probably, that's not that picture, but coral bells are a pretty similar
okay.
type of thing, but pretty much exactly what I linked.
Oh, I'm gonna go put that in my stream. Oh,
Yeah, there
that
you
could be the picture for the next time.
That'd be a good one. That's kind of what the focus is of your current quest. All right, and you've picked the grove clean of flowers, and the centipedes that have been gathering. Now that all the flowers are gone, they seem to be disappointed that they weren't able to get in, but they're probably going to come in and clean up the scraps.
Oh, they eat these.
Yeah, that's what it kind of looks like.
So if they like come after us, we need to like drop some flowers.
Or we just kill them.
Also true. So are you leaving the grove and going back to the path to continue your search? You haven't quite reached your quota yet.
Oh,
Yeah,
we need to look
we
for
need to
more.
find
I got
more
it.
than-
Yeah, you're about a third of the way there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he told us how many ounces he wanted. I forgot.
Yep. 4 out of 12. You've been here for about an hour and a half now.
Yep, so let's keep on going. So we proceed down the path looking for another grove, and we stick together tightly, leaving, carefully watching for the centipedes. Also keep in mind, because there's a very likelihood that we're getting a chance of fighting centipedes every time we find flowers.
All right, you continue down the path, and again, the music is playing in the background. Everything just kind of feels a little bit off, a little bit strange. It's almost pitch black where you're walking, and you come across the woods abruptly end, and there's a clearing in front of you, and about 400 feet across on the other side
Back.
is another clearing, and um, you've come across several of these clearings before, so it's just kind of the natural terrain. Like every once in a while, there's a clearing, you go walk across it. So you start walking across the clearing, unless one of you would like to interrupt and say you don't for some reason.
Let's stop at the edge of the clearing, knowing what we did about the centipedes in the other one, and see if we can scan for any centipedes before we go barreling in.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea.
All right. Everyone can make a perception check if you would like to scout the area before going in. There's a couple of small trees and bushes in the middle of it, but it's mostly open. There's not very much cover other than the canopy from the sky. It's a dim light.
Pantok 18 perception.
Toddy 17.
20, not natural.
All right, you feel like there might be. You can roll the next one, but you feel like there might
Just even
be.
20.
You feel like there's eyes on you, like there might be something watching you, but you don't see anything. You just kind of feel uneasy. But you've kind of felt uneasy the whole time you've been in this forest, so that's not really unusual. But you're not really sure how to proceed with that information.
Do you guys want to take 10 minutes and have me detect magic, or do you think that's like meh?
I think it would be the safest option.
Okay, so I'm going to spend 10 minutes plus 1 action to cast Detect Magic as a ritual, so I'm not consuming a spell slot. And then it's active for, I think, 10 minutes, so that way I can just... it'll alert me to any magic in the school within 30 feet of me.
All right. While you begin preparing the ritual and casting Detect Magic,
10 minutes concentration.
after about a minute or so, you see a large rodent-like creature, kind of like a capybara or a nutria,
Capybara!
and it starts to kind of casually walk across the field. And then when it gets to the middle of the field, it starts to run a little bit faster. And then, without any noise, completely silently, you see a giant figure swoop down and grab the creature and
Aw.
swoop off
Oh.
the trees.
Oh.
Anyone who is not
Oh.
preparing a ritual, make a perception check.
13.
19, Jacina.
17. Toddy.
All right, Jacina and Toddy, you're the only ones quick enough to get a glance at it before it disappears. Make a nature check to see if you could tell what this great shadowy figure swooping across was.
Wish I had guidance soon enough. When I hit level 2.
23. Toddy.
11.
All right, so you're sitting there kind of keeping a watch out while Pantok's preparing the ritual, and this thing swoops down and goes whoosh, whoosh, and you just barely got a glimpse at it, and it's the grove has...
It's a rock.
The grove has just enough dim light that you could see. It looked like an owl, but it was almost twice the size of a human.
Fuck. Hey guys, that looked like an owl, but a really big one, like twice as big as me. That was scary.
Holy shit.
So, remember, don't trust what you see. Don't trust what you see until we get plucked up by a giant owl.
Yeah, maybe we should be entering this meadow stealthily.
I agree.
Natural one. Oh, you
Oh,
step on centipedes.
can I use Druidcraft to force extra flowers to blossom? You instantly make a flower blossom, a seed pod open, or a leaf bud bloom. Hey, I could use that for malting my barley when I get barley.
Oh
There
yeah.
you go.
Let's see. So no, but not because it wouldn't work, but because the problem is with finding the flowers.
Yeah, I'd have to find them and then
So
force them to bloom, but they're already
yeah,
blooming.
yeah, you'd have to like search through every single plant. I mean, if you wanted to spend an extra 45 minutes in that flower grove searching every single bit of green and then trying to bloom it and hoping it's a pink maiden, you could do that, but that would also take a bunch of extra time, which you're welcome to do.
Nah. Nope.
Yeah, it doesn't seem efficient.
I was just gonna use Druidcraft as a joke, and because it's useless. But then I'm like,
I mean, if
wait,
we
it's
do
really
that,
not. I can use it to light torches
yeah.
instantly.
If the problem was that you needed the flower, like, oh darn, this one's not bloomed, you could totally do that. But the problem is just that they have to be bloomed before you can find them.
Okay, so I don't have any special magic to help us out, so let's just let's stay close together and stealthily sneak through the field looking for flowers. So hopefully we don't get owled.
And you're walking just straight across the center of the field.
I mean that's where is that the
We
shortest path of the flowers?
And we should
You
also
don't see any
probably stick
flowers.
close to Kara because
Oh, we don't see any flowers.
No, it's just a big open clearing.
Does it there? Do we see there's no flowers, or do we need to get closer to look for them?
You see, there's no flowers.
Okay, let's.
This is just where the path of least resistance through the forest leads to.
Oh, we just need to cross this to proceed, right?
Yeah.
Well, I have detect magic.
Hello.
Hello?
Okay,
Okay.
are we crossing the field?
Yeah.
Okay, we cross the field as stealthily. Well, wait. So no, you asked if we were going across the center. So we could stick to the edge and still get to the other side, like just kind of go around the rim, like staying at the shore at Burgers Lake instead of swimming straight down the middle.
Physically, yeah.
Okay, so
That
let's
would
do
be an
that. Let's
option.
stick close to the tree line so that we don't just get caught out in the open with an owl that can swoop down. It'll take us a little bit longer, but we're gonna get to the same spot. Agree?
Okay. Was that a yeah? Was that? I'm assuming that was a
I'm
question for your party.
asking my party.
Say it again because I think something cut out.
Do you want to instead of going straight across the middle of an open field where there's an owl hunting? Do you guys want to stick to the tree
Skirt the
line?
edge.
Yeah, and go along the
Yeah.
edge.
Yeah, definitely. Ooh, maybe we should put one of those harnesses with a leash on Kara to be safe.
Hey!
And just
You
leave
just
it
saying
on,
that
and then
'cause
when we're
I'm
going
small.
around town, yeah, this is our kobold.
No! You can't do that to me. I'm one of you. SMA.
I was just suggesting it for your own safety and protection. Don't want to get owled.
I am a free spirit. You cannot control me like that. And if you do, I will be very upsetty spaghetti. And I will not make you any more spaghetti.
Heh.
Oh, I know what I'm looking for now. Mage Hand. You know, we could totally use Mage Hand to harvest flowers and shit too.
That would be
I do not have
pretty.
Mage Hand. Zach does have
Oh.
Mage Hand, however, right?
I do have Mage Hand. What do we need Mage Hand for?
We could use that for like I mean, I'm just pointing out that we have it since we're kind of like going through this forest collecting flowers and things, and we don't, things can swoop down from the sky. Like if we needed to get at something from a distance, we could use that, is what I'm saying.
Use my Mage Hand to pluck a Hooded Maiden's Flower.
That's what I'd use my mage hand for. Okay, so yep, that's what we do. So we stealthily creep along the edge of the forest to get to the path on the other side.
Actually, it's not a bad idea, especially since, one of them might turn out to be a mimic. Although I don't know
Yeah.
if my mage hand
Bird's
can
a mimic.
handle the herbalism kit and stuff.
That's what mage hand is for. If you use that on every chest from 30 feet away, then you find out if it's a mimic before it sticks to you.
True. But no, the herbalism you couldn't like use
No,
tools
not the
or
herb.
gather with
No,
a
not
mage hand.
you can't use.
If there was a specific flower you needed to grab, you could probably do that with a mage hand. But as for like gathering, that's not really a thing that would be feasible. I'd probably let you do it, and it would give you like a really bad yield because you don't have the dexterity with the hand. But
Oh, that's just because you misunderestimate my mage hand abilities
you
and how much I've used it.
But
You
yeah,
want to talk about it? Never mind.
You skirt around the edge. You don't even need to roll a stealth check. You skirt around the edge carefully, and you look around and you see yellow eyes peering at you from all around this opening. And as you're skirting along, following the tree line closely, you look up and you see owls looming in the trees above you, 7 or 8 feet across, wingspan probably 15 feet. And their yellow eyes just look at you like bowling balls from above as you walk underneath their trees and make it safely to the other end.
Okay, good thing that we stopped at the field instead of just walking across it blindly.
Yes, it was.
Okay, back, and then we get back on the path and proceed through the woods.
All right. You're walking for another 20 minutes or so after that, and you come across a grove of flowers, and this grove seems like it is especially plentiful.
Okay, so we're going to enter the field and gather as before, with Pantok keeping a lookout.
Sounds
All
like
right.
a plan.
Just Pantok keeping a lookout this time?
Kara, what you doing?
I want to keep a lookout as well.
Oh, all right,
Okay.
both of us.
So perception checks from the lookouts and survival or wisdom check and herbalism kit check from the other two.
All right, Pantok's perception is a 12.
Okay.
Toddy's wisdom check is a 6.
All right.
And 15 herbalism from Jacina.
All right. And Kara's perception? Your mic might be muted. Kara. Scree.
Kara, are you AFK? She might be talking to Lily about Waffle House.
Okay, I'll roll it. I'll roll a d20 real quick.
That's fine.
You said 12.
Hello.
Pantok's 12. Oh, hello.
Oh, so close to a 20. Hey,
you
Kara,
can
go ahead
roll
and make your roll.
Perception check.
Yeah, all right.
If you got that 20, then I would have said, "Oh, Jake rolled for you."
Yeah, same. Okay, that's good. So yeah, I mean a 20, a 19, and a 5 that averages out. So Pantok doesn't really notice it this time, but there are centipedes gathering. But as you kind of shoo them away, they scatter around and keep their distance. As the rest of your party gathers a total of 5 ounces of flowers. This field,
thanks to me.
This field was very plentiful with flowers, but you see the mutilated remains of several flowers lying on the ground, crushed by Toddy's clumsy hand.
Tell you, man, you got to get that.
Yeah,
You got to
my
get
bad.
that herbalism kit proficiency. And
I don't think it would have mattered in this case.
Jacina now has 9 ounces of maiden flowers, so almost there.
Okay, almost there. And you continue traveling.
Yep. So we're gonna leave this grove and continue down the path looking for the next one.
All right.
He's rolling random groves to see if we find flowers or not.
You travel for another 20 minutes and nothing happens. So
So that owl was just a trap, basically. It's like, oh, no flowers in this field, and then you just walk across, and then swoopy swoop.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then one of us is just gone for a while.
All All right, you travel for another 40 minutes. It's now been, how long is that? Let's see.
I feel like that capybara den is not an option anymore. I feel like
Yeah,
we're way too far for that.
you've been winding through for a
We'll have to
while.
find another one. We'll have to
You'll have to slaughter another family of innocent
Mhm.
badgers.
Okay, so you travel for another 30 to 40 minutes or so, and nothing happens. The woods are kind of closing in and getting a little thick here, and so you're walking through an area. It's very dark, and you have to travel single file. What is your marching order single file?
Kara, do you want to do in front as a scout, and then Justina next, then the two wizards?
Yeah.
Okay, with Toddy in the back.
Kara, and then Kara, Justina, and Toddy in the back. Pantok, Toddy.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. There's 60 feet between Kara and the rest of the party, and everyone else is adjacent.
Yes.
Okay. All of you see in the darkness at the same time. Some lights appear. 5 lights, I believe. Four lights that are moving in conjunction with each other,
Uh-oh.
and they seem to take the form almost of a humanoid creature, and it is off in the distance into the trees, like you'd have to climb over the brush at the sides of this makeshift trail, but it's beckoning you closer into the forest as it walks away.
Cue the X-Files theme.
Dude,
Everyone
yeah,
just ignore the lights.
the Mr. Burns. Hey, remember we had another game recently that had mysterious lights in the forest. That went well. Do you want
I
to
don't
end there,
remember
or
that.
do you want to investigate the lights or ignore the lights? We can stop anytime, but before anything big happens, we'll stop.
Let's stop so that we have time. So then you'll recap next time, and then we can decide what to do with the dancing lights. My thought is that Pantog, if we want to take 10 minutes, he can cast Detect Magic again, and find out. And I mean, he has to be pretty close within 30 feet though to get it. So we're still following
Yeah.
the lights in that situation.
You know what? It's going to be a while. Let's go ahead. Let's start resolving this, and if anything big happens, we'll stop there.
Follow or not,
That-
Kara? Follow or just totally ignore?
Follow. Follow.
You might as well. Jake wrote something. Might as well find out what it is. Okay.
Oh, god damn it.
All right.
So the lights are off in the distance to the side of the trail. It's kind of in the middle of all of you. So who is climbing off the path first to go and follow the lights?
Well, obviously
Me.
Pantok.
Okay.
Do you want to? You're better at stealthing. Pantok just
Yeah.
thinks the lights are cool. Do you guys want to wait 10 minutes? That's too long, and I don't want to cast a spell. So let's just skip Detect Magic. Just
Yeah,
see.
and if it starts walking
It's
off,
clearly magic.
you know.
There's clearly something magical.
Well, yeah, but if Detect Magic would tell us
They're-
what school, but I don't
They're
care.
too far. They're too far away to
I
be
know.
able to
Yeah,
remove
I-
without chasing them.
Yeah, well, I'd have it like on, but no. Okay, so Justina is gonna be marking the trail along the way, as she has kind of been doing already, but she's gonna be put her markings closer together and make it really easy to find the path again on their way back.
All right.
So she's actually
And
lagging kind of behind as she's marking while she's letting the others follow the lights.
how far ahead is the person in front?
If it's Pantok, then not very far. There's no benefit to him being way out in front of the party.
And
How-
are we changing the marching order then?
Yeah, so now it's going to be Pantok, Kara, Justina, and then Toddy. So Toddy's still in the back, but Justina is lagging a little bit just so that she can, because she's not leading. She's
How
making
far?
marks and stuff. They're like 5 feet apart. They're still pretty close together.
Oh, so you're all adjacent then.
Yeah, everyone's close together. It's just that's the single file marching order.
All right.
Yeah.
And Pantok
you're
is
all-
focusing on
you're-
following the lights.
You're following the lights. Pantok's leading, and you're staying all within touching range of each other.
Yep.
Pretty much.
We put our hands in each other's shoulders like cops when they don't go into a classroom to save kids.
Oh,
But in training, they do. In training, they do that over and over and over again. But after 1,000 hours of training, in real life, the one moment where it finally counts, that's where Uvalde does nothing.
How much HP does everyone have?
10 for Jessina, 8 for Pantok, both full.
9 for Toddy, full.
9 for Kara.
9 HP on a wizard?
What?
Oh, that's right. You have tons of Constitution. I'm talking about Toddy.
Sorry, repeat that one
Yep.
more time. I started to write them down and then I lost track. Quickly is fine. I've got them mostly written.
Jessina 10, Pantok 8, Toddy 9, Kara 9.
Kara 9. Okay.
Anytime you go, you have what for your stats? Just remember that I have a lot of stats.
Oh, that's right.
true.
That's right. You got really good rolls.
Yeah, I rolled pretty damn good.
That's how I feel with Jessina's +4 wisdom modifier.
All right. As you are walking forward into the bush, Pantok passes out asleep and collapses on the ground.
Oh, Christ.
Jessina, I need her to make a
Oh,
saving
Christ.
throw, wisdom saving throw.
Oh, no. I know why you asked about hit points now.
Yeah. And the marching order, because it has a certain amount that it affects, and then it instantly, and then it affects based on roll.
Yeah, we're all grouped together, so that means it can hit all of us at once, which is fine. But Pantok has the lowest hit points, so it starts with him. That's why he's passed out. So something just cast sleep, and they also cast something that Jessina just resisted. So which saving throw is that again?
Wisdom.
Wisdom is +6, so suck on that, 23.
Okay. Can let's see who was next. Can Toddy also? Oh, sorry. Pantok, Jessina. Can Jessina also make a wisdom saving? Oh wait, did
That's
you say was that
wisdom's-
Jessina?
Yeah. Pantok's sleeping.
Right, because Pantok's sleeping. Can Kara also make a wisdom saving throw?
Yes. 10.
All right.
Ah.
Give me 1 second.
Oh,
This
no.
is the cliffhanger. The words I'm about to say are going to be the cliffhanger.
Awesome.
But I need to.
What about me? I don't roll?
No.
Oh,
Do you
you're in
wanna
the back. You're in the back, so we're single file, so you're just out of range.
And then the session ends with, and that kids is how Toddy got a whole new group.
So whatever we got hit with, Jessina resists it, Kara doesn't. Pantok falls asleep from a second spell, so we just got 2 spells cast on us. And Toddy, please save us. Because
Maybe I
just out of
shouldn't be the
range.
one in back anymore. Maybe Jessina should be the one in back.
Because she's the healer. Well, she's got armor class though. I mean,
No, I meant because she's responsible.
She's okay. She resisted. She's chugging along.
Yeah, Jessina's fine. She feels like she resisted something not so fun, which we're about to find out what it was.
Yeah, she looks over at Kara to see what she just succeeded resist on. Hey, Kara, I feel like I just resisted something malicious. How are you feeling over there?
Feeling a little bit restless.
I don't feel. I feel manic.
If you had to describe your state of mind with an adjective, what would it be?
Insane.
How about
Owl?
another one? Just keep throwing adjectives at me.
Insane, manic, delusional. What else?
How about if you had to describe your state of mind from the perspective of an animal? What kind of animal would you be?
Oh my gosh! Wow. I don't.
Sounds like a
Wow.
squirrel. Sounds like all that, but because I heard
No.
anxiety, so that sounds like squirrel to me.
What kind of animal has horrific
Squirrel.
delusions and nightmares all the time? Not a fucking squirrel. You want to know what that would be?
I think all animals have nightmares.
Kara turns into a giant squirrel.
Man.
And we can end there. That's what
Thanks
happened.
a lot. You made me something I didn't want to be.
Hey, you had your chance to shout something out.
I was gonna.
Oh,
and
it's
then
like
you interrupted me.
it's in Ghostbusters 2. In Ghostbusters 2, when they say that the demon's going to take the form of anything they think of, so they said, don't think of anything. No one think of anything, and the demon won't manifest. And then suddenly you hear, my form has been chosen. And everyone looks around, okay,
That
who
was the
just chose
first
the form?
Ghostbuster.
Oh, first one. And he's like, well, I just thought that maybe if I thought of something that was very harmless, then it wouldn't be that bad. So what'd you think of? The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Marshmallow Man.
Oh, that's where that came from.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he was like, don't think of anything. But then he thinks, but if I did think of something, I would think of something very harmless, like, oh, the Marshmallow Man, and then raw giant demonic Marshmallow Man. It should have been the
Yep.
Pillsbury Doughboy, because I don't know the Marshmallow Man. I guess he's a real guy.
Probably the Pillsbury Doughboy was too copyrighted. Stay
Yeah.
Puft Marshmallow Man.
Is
that even a real thing?
I think so.
I think
Here's
so, but it's everybody
It
knows
says fictional
Pillsbury.
character from Ghostbusters.
Oh, okay, then they just made it up. Yes, because
Yeah.
because
Interesting.
copyright. Wow, well, they made me think it was real. I want some Stay Puft Marshmallows.
Yeah, I don't know, because there's a website that has them, but it's all Ghostbuster reference. So I don't know which came first. Like maybe they're not relevant except for Ghostbusters, so they're just capitalizing on it.
Oh, yeah, because you know what? It really looks like the Michelin Man. Marshmallow Man,
lot,
Michelin
yeah.
Man. So I bet it was Michelin Man, but they decided to change it to something else so they don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, Dan Aykroyd made it up.
Dan
But it seems-
Aykroyd made up
it
a
to-
lot of shit, like ghost
It totally
blowjobs.
seems legitimate, though.
He insisted on the ghost blowjob scene. They had to cut other scenes from the movie in editing to make time, and he was like, "This movie is not being released if the
Make it
ghost
happen.
if the ghost blowjob scene doesn't happen." It's really hard to say ghost
That's
blowjob.
funny. Ghost blowjob, ghost
It was a
blowjob, ghost
spooky
blowjob.
ghost.
It's because he 100% believes in paranormal, and he was literally like, "Oh yeah, this is a funny movie, but also this is all real." And so, and he said there's a lot of like accounts of ghost sex. So he's like, "Oh, I got it."
Wee. Oh, hey guys, I gotta leave now.
Are you going to
Yep, I'll
Waffle
be like
House?
that too.
Let me
Waffle
think
Ho?
about it. Let me
Sa-
think about it.
Sam is, if that influenced your decision one way or the other.
I'm thinking.
Okay, well, you have a few minutes to think while I get ready. Okay, goodbye everyone. Thanks for playing. And so next week
Bye.
you guys want to go and finish up with Red Roof and find out about all your what is it? The Wandering Emporium. That's what's next. Oh man, I need to make some notes on that place.
Yeah, that sounds good though.
Cool. All right, well, I'll see you guys